You know what it is. It's them kids and wives at 925, but we are still married to the games. Episode 273. And I am worn out.
That is it. That's all we got.
I think that I actually think that that's all I have.
All right.
Well, good episode, everyone.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you guys.
Well played. Go play lots of games, everybody. Merry Christmas.
It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games. Woo wee. And it's a humdinger this morning, boy.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Come on, guys. Let's go.
I know.
What's
We
up?
got to pick it up. Pick it up right now. Get the rock. Take it to the hole.
Yes. Yes, I think we do.
That is a thing that we do at times.
Instead of night show, it's morning show.
Jeez Louise. Ed Placencia,
Yes, sir.
what has been going on with you? What are you playing? And what has been going on with you?
Well, Sarah and I got back from Lancaster on Monday evening, and so we were.
Did you
there
get all
for
the
a bit.
square one out of your system?
We were only there once a day, so
Yep, only. I love that, man. I think that's great. You got that place that you always go to.
it was really nice just to walk in and get like full on 2-armed hugs from everyone, and
man.
it was so cool.
That's the best.
That's cool.
So yeah, it was. They're great people, and it was nice seeing our long distance family again, and stayed with friends, got to see some friends, and it was a nice time. Sarah was there for a Zumba class, and to see our friend, who their daughter is the reason that I chose the Pennsylvania Hospital for Extra Life.
Oh,
and
yes.
she performs in the Nutcracker every year, and we
awesome.
Good
went and
deal.
saw that, and yeah, it was really cool. It was really good to connect with them and hang out again, and just a really, really good time.
Nice.
Last night, Sarah's dad is in town from Florida, and so we went down to Fort Wayne and had a fancy dinner with them, and it was a good time, and good to connect with them. Hadn't seen them for a couple years, so it was nice to connect. And Sarah's grandma was there, and she's kind of one of those cool grandmas, and
I
so
love
it was
cool
just,
grandmas.
You know, she knows what podcasts are and everything, and so it was just,
Nice.
it was cool to connect and just to really watch Sarah get to see her and connect again. And so that was really, really good time. I really enjoyed that.
There you go.
As far as gaming goes, because I didn't bring a console with me, or it was pretty much South Park Phone Destroyer all week while we were gone. And which is fine by me.
I was about to say,
That's
which
not a
it would have been
complaint.
anyway.
That's right. No change in the plans at all. And then when we got home, I've mostly just been playing Assassin's Creed Origins, and just I don't know the last time I've had, when I play the game, that I've had a current mission even selected. That's how much fun I'm having just wandering around discovering
Oh,
Really?
That's great, man.
and
That's
exploring.
awesome.
Yeah, it's just been so much fun.
That's
just to
crazy.
see all the question marks on the map and be like, I wonder what that is, and go and look, and oh, it's something that's way too powerful for me. I'll go over here, and
I got to level up over here then.
exactly. And it's just been such a good time. Again, just to, I've heard people throw around the term sandbox a lot when they describe the game, and it really is just a huge, literally at times, a huge playground to just explore, and just it's been a lot of fun. So that's been holding me over since I've been back. Looking forward to firing up the PSVR again and hopping back into that world.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the week in a nutshell, I believe.
I like it.
Yeah,
That's great, man.
Chris
Yeah.
McCracken?
That was a quick one.
So I had the Cousins Christmas came and went.
Oh, that's
it
right.
Went
Nice.
well. People ate my chili and didn't get sick off of it, so I did that right. And they
I know
seemed to
that's
like
right.
it.
But that's a
It was one of
bonus.
those things, just like if all these people start like just keeling over and like, oh, my stomach, and then I know I cooked something incorrectly. So luckily that did not happen. It all
I'd have
worked
blamed it on
fine.
something else.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
Right.
That's
believe
the
me,
cake.
I wouldn't be talking about it right now had it gone that way. I'd be like, oh man, the strangest
Exactly.
thing. Everybody got sick beforehand, and then it all hit right when they got here.
Exactly.
was
Merry
so
Christmas,
crazy.
everybody. I give you the
Right.
gift of diarrhea.
There must have
Enjoy.
been something on the doorknob.
Exactly.
That's right.
Why were they all kissing on the mouth? I shouldn't have done that.
Kissing cousins. That's what the kissing cousins.
There
That's
you
a thing.
go.
So, but it was good. We had a good time. It was great to see everybody that, typically this is the only time where they all come together, unless we're able to go over there for Thanksgiving or sometimes there's a Christmas gathering as well. But because we split up the holidays every year, like where we're going, and we don't always get to participate with that. So it's been nice to have the cousins Christmas, at least for the last 3 years, be the thing that brings us all together. I guess except for Stacy this one year so far,
know.
because she had to go
Missed
to
out.
Boston. So everybody's pretty bummed about that, and as was she. She kept texting me, making sure everything was fine and everybody was having a good time, and I was sending her pictures and everything like that. But it was a good time. Everybody was very complimentary of the house, which was nice to. It's the first time really that a bunch of people have been over here besides when we moved in, and even that was a bit of a small group. So it was kind of nice. Outside of that, work is definitely winding down. It's getting to the point where everybody's just kind of looking to the Christmas and New Year's kind of time, because many people take off during then. So all the jobs are kind of wrapping down and slowing down a little bit. So nothing too crazy really going on there. About to have the department Christmas party will come up soon, and then the office and the DC, which they're the distribution center, that's what DC stands for. They're all together, so there's usually one big party that involves all of those people, and then people from the local stores might come over and do it as well if they're off that day or whatever. So that'll be coming up soon. I usually am one of the ones helping to make sure music's playing, taking pictures, and making sure the event's actually running fine. So I don't get to. It's not like my downtime or anything, but it's still a fun event. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that's sometime next week. It might be the week after. My dates are all running together at the moment. But outside of that, I mean, work's just been pretty easy going for the moment. So on the gaming front, I have not gotten to record any more of the Call of Duty campaign. I'm hoping to get to that, if not later in this week, then this weekend. But played a little bit more multiplayer. But the main thing that I've done is on Sunday night, we finally worked it all out, where we were going to take Mr. Gabe through the raid in Destiny.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Because the expansion, I believe it dropped yesterday.
That's right.
For not Trials of
Curse of
Osiris.
Osiris.
Curse of Osiris.
Curse
There
of
you go.
Osiris.
Yeah,
You don't
and
like that
so-
DLC. You have a hard time remembering the name.
I
of that
know,
thing.
but because they had that mode in the game Trials of Osiris, not all of Destiny 1, but a big chunk of Destiny 1. This is almost the same name, so I always
Yes.
it just
Yeah.
messes with my brain. Plus, it's 5:30, so
Yeah,
there's that
exactly.
factor
That's
as
That's no
well.
excuse, right?
Yeah. So we wanted to get him to take him through it and have him finally experience it, because when the DLC drops, the level cap goes up, and it doesn't go up like a crazy amount, but regardless of how much it goes up, you have to now get to that new level, because all the content in the game, its difficulty goes up. So
right.
it's like, well, now Gabe would have to find the time to get to the new level and then continue on with the raid or whatever. So
Right.
we wanted to make sure that we got it down. And we did great that first night. We got all the way through all the 3 stages right before the final boss. And that's where we kind of called it. I think it was about 3.5 hours or so.
3
something
hours
like that.
20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, we streamed it, so it is on the YouTube channel if you want to go see. So you can check it out there. And we
To
actually
Ed's request.
yeah, and we
Yes,
did
thank
we
you.
did stream it since we were both on it. YouTube has this way that you can do like a multi-stream where 2 people can be streaming, and then if you're on the desktop version, like in the browser, you can go there and you could switch between views. So like you could switch on the fly from my view to
cool.
Gabe's view and then back, and whoever, I think you can do up to 4 or 5 cameras, if you will, at a time, but it was just Gabe and I that were doing it. But we did that, and it archives both streams after the fact. So that was really cool. I'd been
That's
wanting to
awesome.
kind of try that out and see how it worked. And I was glad that, first time trying it and it worked pretty good. So
Yeah, and even in the archive, if you go watch one of the videos, you still get the option of switching back and forth, which is kind of cool.
Oh, cool.
Oh, do you? I didn't realize that. Nice.
Yeah. You hit
That's
the little,
cool.
there's like 2 arrows at the bottom of the screen.
Uh-huh.
And when you click that, it kind of brings up a side menu of the different cameras. And so you can still switch in between to see, who's doing
That's really
what.
cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that existed.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely something I want to mess around with a bit more. If we ever end up doing another one of those Married to the Games versus Res TV like Overwatch things. I'd like to have as many on our team doing that as possible, so we could switch back and forth.
Cool.
That'd be, yeah. And it really, I mean, as long as you get the stream going, it's pretty seamless after that. There's really not much to it. So it was a really neat little feature. And so we finished that up. We were like, okay, it's late. Let's all just go ahead and break, and we will pick it back up on Monday because it resets on Tuesday at like 4 a.m. or something like that. It's like, all right, cool. We're going to finish it out. We're going to do this final boss, and bam, Gabe, there's your first raid. And
that's what we said.
That is what we said. And
oh no.
Well, I guess this is really wrapping up the end of my week, so I'll hold off and let Gabe finish the story when we get to him.
Oh, look at that
Finish
cliffhanger.
it out.
Dun, dun, dun.
Next week on McCracken Files.
Ooh, I like that. The McCracken Files.
There you go.
That's funny. That's it for you, Chris?
That's it for me.
Tim.
All right, brothers and sisters. Topic of the week for Miss Piper is Elfsa. Our elf on the shelf is back and causing mischief throughout the house.
Uh-oh.
It's a lot of fun. I love seeing her face light up in the morning because she wakes up. She's like, "What did Elfsa do today?" And yeah, it's been great, and it's actually
I
helped.
forget that it does stuff.
Yeah.
Hoops everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah. No, we don't have a pooping one, thankfully, which is good.
Thankfully.
At least not yet, anyway.
Not yet.
The month is still young, so we'll see. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's actually helping her because we're trying to get her to stay up in her room a lot more now. Her bedroom is now upstairs, and she's never had anything like that before, and she's basically the only one upstairs. So I think it makes her a little bit nervous. So she's been since we've moved in, she's essentially been sleeping with us. So we're at that point where we're like, all right, you need to start sleeping in your bed, and
and it's that time. Yeah.
And it's that time. But it's good, and she's been doing that now, and I think she's getting a little bit more and more comfortable with it. So that's awesome. We had some friends come in from Huntsville this weekend, so that forced us to kind of finish all the other guest bedrooms and that kind of stuff. And so on Friday, Lauren and I just took like a half a day and knocked a bunch of stuff out. So I feel a lot more settled in the house now. It's really great, and so that's going on. And man, from here on out till Christmas, our weekends are pretty much shot. We've got this past weekend they did the lighting of the Christmas tree on Friday night in downtown Franklin, which was a lot of fun. And then on Saturday was a Christmas parade. So on top of Lauren working, it was kind of like a work fun day where she would be there for a little bit. And then once the parade started, then we were out there. And then this next weekend is Dickens of a Christmas, which happens on Saturday and Sunday. They close Main Street down to traffic. And then it's just all vendors, and they do kind of a Charles Dickens theme, which is so much fun.
People wander around in costume, right?
Yep, exactly.
Oh,
and
really?
It's going to be. We have a nice cold front coming in right now, so it's going to be a balmy 39 degrees on Saturday, which is going to be crazy.
Jeez.
Balmy 39 degrees.
Right. So typically we set up a tent in front of the store, and this year they're encouraging all the merchants to kind of dress up your entryway.
Yeah.
Put garland around and do all that stuff. And Lauren's like, I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Like lamb's blood on the doorpost?
Yeah, we'll put lamb's blood on the sides and the top of the door, yes. And unleavened bread and all that fun stuff. Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
So I don't know what she's going to do yet, but it may not involve us freezing our tails off the whole time outside. So we may just kind of do an entryway into the store, and that might be good enough. But we'll see. We'll figure out what she's doing. But it is a lot of fun. It gets you really in the Christmas spirit, and it's just a lot of fun. And then like the following weekend, I have my family's Christmas, and as well as a birthday party, and then my brother and sister-in-law's Christmas. So there's just a lot going on. So our weekends are pretty much shot. So we're trying to enjoy during the week doing some family things together. And man, there's only 19 days until Christmas as of this podcast recording. So it's going to creep up on you fast. So it's crazy. On the gaming front, I finally got that trolling trophy, which means I finally got that platinum for Shadow of War. So excited.
There you go.
Very nice.
So, man, I was like, when it happened, it kind of happened by chance, but I was like, oh yes, yeah, all right, good, finally, can we move on now?
Yeah.
So, because I had spent a good week and a half on it. Again, still had fun doing it the whole time, but it was just like, it was such a relief to finally get that platinum. So now I've got both platinums on the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, and I can't wait for the next one. It'll be great. So I have switched gears and fired up South Park.
Hey,
and
Nice.
was cracking up. And then I realized something. I was like, it's getting toward the end of the year. We're going to start having our Game of the Year selections. And there's an Assassin's Creed out, and I'm the Assassin's Creed person typically, and I haven't even played this yet. So I flipped it, and now I'm playing Assassin's Creed Origins. And
that's fun.
I'm only like an hour in, but I'm already loving it. And so
Good.
so that's probably what I'm going to play from here on out.
There you go.
Because I've heard all the great ravings from Eduardo over there, and I really just want to get in there and start playing this game. So I'm super excited.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
It looks beautiful, I will
Excited to
say.
see what you have to say about it. Being the Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed guy, like you said.
Yeah, it's already like the combat's already different with the using the bumper buttons is kind of throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think it's just me getting used to it because typically I think it was Square back in the days that you would, well, and even with Shadow of War, that's what you use for attacking and that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit of a curve, but it's great, man. Just in some of the cutscenes, the voice acting is really good. It looks beautiful, and I saw the map. I'm like, wow, this is huge. I was like, okay, I'm going to be here till February, basically. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited to really just dive into it. I felt like, I usually play Assassin's Creed games day one, and I just never got around to it just because we had a couple other games that I was in the middle of. So
Because you turned into a hater.
I said turned into a hater. No way, man.
You take a year off, I'm taking 2. Forget you.
No, I applaud them. I'm glad they did that, and it sounds like it is paying off in dividends. So that's that was a very smart decision to kind of go back to it, revamp some things, and go from there. So I'm excited to see just what they have different because with Syndicate, which I platinum, you had 2 protagonists here, and now we're going back in time, and it's even before any of the Assassin's Creed time periods before, and this is more of the Oranges story. So yeah, it'll be great.
Jeez.
Oranges story.
That's all I can say.
I know.
I just keep saying Oranges.
I get it.
It's permanently ingrained in my skull now. So I love it. But that's it for me.
There we go.
Yep.
Good deal.
Mr. Patillo, what do you have for us this week?
Well, I've got these 2 blockbuster movies.
Yes.
I took back the 2 I had last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 2 new ones and wanted to see if
good.
you guys wanted to pick out of the 2 Christmas movies for us to watch this week.
Okay.
Did you make sure you rewound the tape before you turned it back?
Oh, shoot.
Dang it, we're going to get fined.
I didn't rewind them.
Well, what does it say on the
Didn't
back of the
rewind.
box? And let us know what the description is.
Yeah.
We'll decide.
These say burn after watching.
Oh, perfect. I have my matches ready, sir.
Okay, great.
I'll get the gasoline.
Thank you. Actually, Chris, could you take some of that gasoline and pour it on the Yule log as we all gather
there
around?
you go. Hang on a second. Okay, there we go. We're all,
Thanks.
Oh,
all
that
right.
we're all
feels
gassed
good.
up.
Toasty.
Everybody have a seat.
Mm-hmm.
It's love at first sight when Rusty the Labrador and Sherry the Poodle meet one day while jogging in the park.
Of course.
Even better, their owners fall in love too.
Aw.
But love is more complicated for the people, Susan and Jake, who marry and attempt to join together their large family of 5 children.
Oh, wow. Okay. Ooh.
With kids fighting and a household in complete chaos, it's up to the dogs to keep the family together.
What?
As it normally is.
A lot of pressure.
2011's A Christmas Wedding Tale, T-A-I-L.
No.
Nice. Okay.
All right.
Yummy.
That's nice.
That is perfect.
Okay,
Wow.
so there's that one.
Okay.
I'm in.
Or,
Mhm.
Chris, this Yule log's kind of going out.
Oh, hang on.
Thanks.
Go. There we go.
All right. appreciate
All
it.
right, perfect.
All right, we don't need as much for this one. It's a short one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Santa Claus is actually a demon.
That's it. You
That's
had me
it.
at demon.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
want the demon one.
No, don't say anymore. You had me at demon.
A demon who lost a bet with an angel.
Of course.
So he becomes the giver of toys and happiness. But when the bet is off, he returns to his evil ways.
Yes.
Yes.
2005's Santa's Sleigh. S-L-A-Y.
S-L-A-Y.
That's amazing.
Oh, wow. I want to watch that twice.
That is awesome.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Terrible Christmas movies.
I love it.
Love it.
Keeping it going.
Oh.
Santa's Sleigh. Lord have mercy.
That's good.
These are,
That's
these are
really-
real things that people spent real
Oh
money.
my gosh.
Yeah, that people like wrote actual
Yes.
words for a screenplay for.
Like sat
Mhm.
down
Oh.
and took the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Now,
What you got going on then, man?
all right.
Besides wonderful Christmas movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Tim, don't be mad.
Oh,
Nope.
Doggone it. So you know how I was like a +1 a couple weeks ago
Mm.
to
Mhm.
the Xbox One X launch party that they had here in Nashville?
Yeah.
Mm.
I was a +1 again this weekend. And I don't know how to it's a long story that I don't want to like I could tell it, but it's just a long
We
story.
got time.
I understand that, but it's just I got to spend an hour and a half with Troy Baker this weekend,
Oh,
Oh,
you got
come
to.
on.
Nice.
Nice,
wow.
and it was really cool.
Very nice.
dude. What was it? What was the event? Was it here in town?
So yeah, he was here. He's friends with Kevin Max from DC Talk.
Oh, get out. Okay.
Kevin was doing a show at the Franklin Theater, and
Oh.
and invited Troy to come and be a part of it, like as a special guest kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That
Like
nobody
not musical guest though, because he does sing too.
they ended up singing together. Yes.
Oh,
But
nice.
He was there to like he spoke in between like some of the
Oh,
stuff.
cool.
So like he read like a Christmas story and did like a bunch of voices in it and
Oh,
this
very
kind
nice.
of thing. So the long and short of it is I didn't get to go to the show because we ended up having Jenny's side of the family's Thanksgiving on that night.
Mhm.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so I was trying to like work out meeting him and I thought it was going to be an easy thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually was like 2 seconds away from texting Router just to see where he was because I was like because I didn't know if I was going to meet him, where I was going to meet him, but he was staying at Toby's flat in downtown Franklin. And so I was
Oh
like
wow. Really?
I was like, so if I'm like around, then I'll text, kind of like how I pulled with Stancil, like, hey, what are you doing? If you
Yep,
walk down the
that was
street and I
awesome.
just happen to bump into you, you know what I'm saying, kind
Yep.
of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But all the plans fell apart. And so,
Mm.
like, what I thought was going to be me meeting up with him turned out not to be. And it, like, was this whole, like, hubbub. And then I thought he had left. And then Toby texted me out of no place. So we had, like, put 2 days on pause to try to, like, maybe Gabe can meet Troy Baker. And, it, my wife was being awesome about it and was like, no, I want you to be able to meet him and talk with him and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah. And so so we like kind of tried to do our lives as normal, but didn't run any crazy errands. Well, I was like, you know what? It's not going to happen. He's gone. So we'll just go about what we were doing. And Jenny's like, okay, well, I got to run to the Target in Rivergate. Is that okay? And I was like,
Oh,
sure.
boy.
This is like the second day. So I was like, that's fine. So she gets in the car and leaves. And then I get a text from Toby all of a sudden. Hey,
Of
can
course.
you meet me at my flat real quick? And I was like, no, Jenny just left. And so,
Oh my gosh.
and this is like
Wow.
5 minutes after she walks out the door. So I text her and I'm like, and of course I just get the text from Toby. and she doesn't reply. So I call, and her
Because
phone's
she's driving
dead.
and she shouldn't, so good on her.
Exactly,
There you go.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I call her, and her phone's dead.
Oh no.
And so then I call again, and then call again, and then call again. Like, you know, I'm like calling every 3 minutes because it's been like a big to do for the last 2 days trying to link up.
You guys have been talking about it.
Yeah.
And so one of the times she answers the phone, it starts ringing, and I was like, oh snap. And I was like, hey babe, where are you right now? She's like, I'm in Cool Springs, which is like 15 minutes from our house. And I was like, would you mind coming back real quick? Toby just texted me and said I have only from right now till 6 o'clock to come meet Troy. And it was like 4:30. And she was like, yeah, of course. So she turns around, comes home. I book it over there, trying not to be, you know, too excited.
Yeah.
You Dukes of Hazzard it, man.
Exactly.
Totally.
I'm here. I mean, no big deal. Oh gosh. Yeah, like, yeah, I'll get an ice water.
Why are you sweating so much?
Exactly. I have 3 jackets on.
Mhm.
And what ended up happening was Toby randomly ran into Troy on the street, and Toby had gone to the show the night before. And Toby went out.
Really?
Yeah, and so Toby had gone out on the limb and been like, man, I've got a guy who's getting into voiceover and has a video game podcast. Is there any chance that I could bring him to meet you real quick? And he was like, yeah, man, no problem. So that's how it ended up
Nice.
happening. Like, so I didn't even know he was still in town, and Toby just happens to bump into him on the sidewalk, and
Wow.
you know, and put it out there for a brother. And so that was big for me, and I really appreciate Toby for doing that. And so we kind of like got there, and I didn't know what to expect, if it was gonna be 5 minutes or if it was gonna be 20 minutes, or you know what it was gonna be like.
Yeah.
But man, we ended up sitting there until like 7 o'clock, and it
That's
was
awesome.
yeah,
Good
so it
deal.
was cool just to sit and talk with him and really like get to, you know, tell him, you know, what he meant to me personally as like just a voiceover talent and how incredible I thought he was. And then also, of course, I had to be like, I mean, Toby's got your number, so you mind if I hit you up and try to get you on the show? And he was like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but the heart of it, the heart of it was like,
No.
yeah, exactly. But the heart of it was like, I mean, we've just sat and of course I'll come on the show. It'd be weird if I didn't come on the show. We've just talked for an hour and a half. You know,
That's
so
awesome.
he was really kind and really
How long did it take you to talk to him before your like, oh my gosh, was like gone?
Yeah, exactly.
pretty quick because the
that's
oh my
awesome.
gosh was more before I got there.
It's the hype up. Yeah, yeah.
and
It's
then,
the hype up.
and then you walk in and you kind of go up these steps and to Toby's loft little apartment thingy, and then there's a long hallway and then it kind of opens up. And so what's funny was when we walk in, Toby yells something up to him. He yells something down. I yell something back up. And then when I see him at the top of the steps, he goes, oh man, let's hug back here. It'll be weird to hug in this hallway. And like and that for some reason kind of broke down the thing, right? And I was like, dude, nice to meet you. And you know, for me it'd been like 2 days coming. And and he was like, man, come sit down, come sit down. It's my pleasure. Come sit down. And I sit down and I look at him and he goes, man, you look just like your dad. And I was like,
Really?
What?
and he's like,
Wow.
and so turns out he's like church kid, you know, came up in church, came up singing. And like they used to sing my dad's songs in church or something crazy like that. And so he knew
Wow.
like Leon Patillo songs. And I was like,
Wow,
what is
that's
going
crazy.
on right
I
now?
know, right? Am I in a vortex of some?
That is
What
cool,
is-
man.
What is life right now? And so
That is so cool. Life is good, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And so we just sat and talked. I think we probably talked about voiceover for like 15% of the time. And the rest of the time was really about music. It was about, you know, just him coming from Dallas. I didn't know he was from Dallas and you know, making his way to LA. So,
Yeah.
and it was kind of nice that we didn't talk about VO a whole bunch because
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Yeah.
when- whenever I call him to do the interview, then we can kind of get all that out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And all the pleasantries would have been out of the way. So
Right.
That was definitely the highlight of my weekend.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
I wish I was in downtown Franklin more. I wonder if he even, not that he would come into rock, paper, scissors for stationery or anything.
That was my whole thing. That was my whole like thought process, because I was like, well, if I meet him at like Starbucks or Frothy,
yeah, man, I'd be right there.
Yeah, I don't care if you're in downtown Franklin. I'm just texting you like, trust me, come to Frothy Monkey. Just I don't know where you're at. Just come here.
Listen. With your history, anytime you say do something, I'm just going to do it, because it's always full of surprises.
Right?
Yeah, you never know.
Exactly. So I did want to apologize to Tim, though, because I was like, this
don't
sucks
worry
that
about
we're
it,
like
man.
right here and I couldn't fully work this out, but it wasn't really that kind of party. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. No, don't even worry about it, man.
Be invited.
My own brother, my own flesh and blood is here like 15 minutes away, and I barely see him. So don't worry. It's life, man. I get it. It's totally fine. Don't even worry about it.
Flesh and blood brother on a podcast is 7 minutes away, and you barely see
totally
him as well.
fine.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
That's just how it goes.
Yes. So I wanted to try to work it out, but I did get to see, creepily enough, the beautiful Router clan at the Christmas parade. Tried to wave and get your attention, but there's a lot of people out there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I
Yeah.
totally missed you.
Yes. You were on the other side of the street.
Yes.
So that's how I ended up seeing you guys. The Christmas parade was fun. We were out there too. I was trying to act normal and not look at my phone every 2 seconds, trying to meet Troy Baker.
Exactly.
And
oh, that's so cool.
and so yeah, it was really fun. I didn't have him do any voices or anything like that. So just to clear that
Like
up.
so, Joel.
Exactly. Joel and go. Italian and go. Call of Duty
That's
and
awesome.
It's so funny.
go. BioShock and go.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, it was really, really cool. Other than that, yes, did the raid with Chris McCracken and crew, Married to the Games crew. Shout out for showing up and helping out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as he was alluding to, the Monday came around, and I have all my stuff set up, still ready to go. And one of my best friends in the world, his name is Ryan Lampa. He's been on the road with us for the last 12 years. His brother texted me and was like, impromptu birthday party for Ryan tonight at Top Golf. And I was like,
Oh,
nice.
I was like, shoot, because we just got a Top Golf.
Golf, baby.
And-
And it's like a month out to get reservations too, apparently.
Is it?
Wow.
It's something.
Man, it wasn't packed when we got there, but I know that when it first came, it was insanity. Like every day they said the parking lot was packed. So I don't know if it's waned a little bit or the fact that we just
might be.
went on like a Monday night. But it was still like the third layer, like the top floor was packed with people. That's for sure.
Oh, wow.
So cool.
So I was like in between a rock and a hard place, and I was telling Jenny, I was like, dang it, like I have to go to Ryan's party. However, there's been people that set aside 3.5 hours of their life last night to help me complete this thing, and we were going to finish it tonight, and I don't know what to do. And she was like, she doesn't get it at all.
Right.
Right.
She's like, well, duh.
She's like, so you're not going to go to your best friend's birthday party to play video games? And I was like, well, when you say it like that,
I know, right? You're like, well,
it sounds terrible, but it's different. It's like this thing's about to drop on Tuesday, and it'll make it harder to do, and I'll have to go back and play the game for hours more to get back to where I was to be able to do it. It's not, but I've already put the hours in, and I could do it now. She's like, uh-huh. I was like, never mind.
Exactly. Exactly.
Chris, call off the dogs.
Oh,
So I felt terrible. So I'm so sorry, you guys, that showed up and was helping out. But I know that you guys finished it, got it for Brett T. Bawden, so that's good. 'Cause
Yeah.
It was his first time running the raid as well. So I'm glad you guys got it done for him. But I was just so bummed that I wasn't there. And I mean, obviously, we had a great time at Top Golf.
Yeah, we did.
And like,
Oh, well,
and-
that.
Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say,
How am I supposed to
like
know you had a
the night
great
before
time?
on the
How am I supposed
raid,
to know?
like
Yeah.
when we were in there. Yeah,
Chris flew in with Troy Baker to play
Yeah.
some Top Golf with Gabe.
Exactly.
yeah.
But we had a great time at Top Golf, and so I don't regret going. It was just a bummer.
No, man.
And
Nor
of
should
course,
you.
I
It's your
missed
best
out
friend.
to the thing, So if it was any of you guys, I would have gone to your party as well.
Yeah, and we had people. Our community is great. Our clan is great. So I just put a call out and said, "Hey, we need," because Spencer Stapleton had helped us out the Monday or that Sunday night, and then he couldn't finish it out on that Monday either. So I made a call out, and somebody filled in for him. And then when I heard from Gabe about his situation, I was like, "Look, obviously the answer is you go to the birthday." So I just made another call out, and we got another person jumped in. So we were able to get it because that was the other thing. Like he said before, Brett hadn't finished it either. So we still wanted to do it. You know, we already had most of the team there. We just needed someone to sub in here and there, and people were game to fill in and do what was needed. So it was great. And I did stream that one as well. It's on the YouTube as well. I wasn't going to, but I was like, well, I mean, we might as well, because then we can have a full raid. I was just assuming we were going to finish it. But, you know, when you're playing with people who have never done it, the mechanics there's a lot going on. It's possible that it could maybe not work out.
Yeah, make it tough, yeah.
And it took us a couple of hours, and it ended, it's like so crazy. So I had some hiccup or something or whatever with my internet. It kicked me out of the party. And if you know anything about the raid, or if you watch the raid, you'll learn very quickly communication is of the utmost importance. And the thing is that when I had started the party, it was a private party, because when you're doing the raid, one of the worst things, and granted it was late at night, so it probably wasn't going to be an issue, but usually when we're doing the raid, I make it a private party if I'm the one starting it. That way we don't just have some random person going like, "Hey guys, what's up?" when we're like in an intense battle trying to communicate.
Right.
Exactly.
But because it was set to private and I got kicked out of it, I couldn't rejoin it.
What?
We were at a key spot where
you got kicked all the way out. I thought you meant
I got kicked out of the party. I wasn't kicked out of, no, I stayed in the game. Like, that was what was the weirdest thing about it, is that usually if you have a network issue, it's going to kick you out of the game and the party and everything.
Yeah.
I only got kicked out of the party, but I was still in the game playing. And we were at a key point where I have to really communicate what I'm about to do next. And if we get through this next little leg, we probably were going to finish the raid. And that's when it goes out. And I'm like, I mean, you can watch the stream if you get on there, you know, spoilers, but I'm sitting there saying, they can't communicate with me. I need to get to the party. Someone needs to invite me. And so I just kept talking. It's like, maybe something weird's happening where they can actually hear me, but I just can't hear them. So I'm like, I'm just going to call out my things anyways. And I'm calling out what I'm supposed to call out, and it's working. And then we go again, and it's working. And then we go and we finish raid. I'm like, I have no idea how that worked. And finally, they all jump out of the party and go to game chat. I was like, how did we just do that? I'm like, man, we just doubled up everything we did because we couldn't hear a word you were saying. And I almost like jumped off the edge and like, well, this is a wipe because they aren't going to be able to hear me, which means it's not going to work. I was like, I'm just going to stay here anyways. And we ended up beating them on that round.
That's awesome.
That's
nice.
incredible.
It was the wackiest thing I've ever done in a Destiny raid before that's ever happened. So it's kind of
It's the stories that come out more than the stories you're playing sometimes.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I love that. That's funny. Another thing that's kind of a bummer, we will record the podcast next week before Star Wars comes out. Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's a bummer.
Before Star Wars comes out, but it'll release after Star Wars comes out. So I'm always in the camp of go see it the night before, like, you know, when it's first launches.
Yes.
So I'm going to see it at 8 o'clock next Thursday, and I'm super excited about that. But I'm bummed that we won't get to talk about it. But I might be the only one going. Is anybody else going next week?
I think I am, because the Ribbo does their Christmas party, and for the past 3 years, 2 years, because of the Star Wars movies, they rent out one of the theaters. They rent out a Showtime, and then they invite a bunch of people to it. So like last year, we went and saw Rogue One at the theater on opening day. It was great. So yeah, I think I may see you there. I don't know if it's Thursday when their party is. I have to ask Ash, but yeah, I think we're all going.
Sick.
Piper included.
There you go. So yes, super excited about Star Wars next week.
Yeah, man.
Going to see that. And I think that's it for me.
That's a lot.
Also, the dancing game. So, that.
Oh, yeah. How's that going?
Nice.
You know, trucking along. Playing What Does the Fox Say?
Of course.
Oh, that one is hilarious.
Yeah.
And dancing in your underwear?
Exactly. And then watching it back like Oh yeah, I forget this is recorded, and I'm in my drawers.
That's good.
Yeah, and so and then we have another just as a life side note, we have another like flea market or market for Love and Lion this weekend. It's called
nice.
the Porter Flea. It's here in Nashville.
Oh yeah, nice.
So the girls will be down there set up. So I got to go.
Are they taking your rig again?
Oh yeah, you know they are.
Mm.
So I got to go move that
They
this
better.
weekend. Move it twice. So
Oh, right.
good.
yeah, well, you know, it'll be fine.
Mhm.
It'll be fine.
That was very convincing.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. It will be fine.
So, all right, that's it for me. Router,
Yes.
you got it?
Yes.
Well, let's do it!
All right, this is going to be pretty quick because there's not a ton coming out. But of course, Mr. McCracken, Destiny 2, Curse of Osiris, PlayStation 4. It just says PS4. Is that true? It's not.
No.
It's not Xbox.
Yeah, it's on everything.
Yeah, well, maybe.
I wonder if it came
they-
first for a second or something like that. I don't know. You never
Yeah.
know with these
Yeah, normally they just say for.
timed
Yeah, it says
exclusives.
exclusively for PlayStation 4. So maybe this week it is, and then next week it opens up.
Pretty sure that's
Um,
not the case.
Nope. No, I'm sorry. I'm reading the wrong one. Never mind. Destiny 2, Curse of Osiris. We also have, now that the DLC's out, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition for the PlayStation 4.
Oh.
That's your exclusive right
So are
there.
they only doing are they only doing one DLC then?
Right, I guess. The Frozen Wild and then...
Yeah, I think
hey,
that's,
here's the Complete Edition.
Huh.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how similar to like The Last of Us or what was kind of
Uncharted.
going to be like
Yes.
Uncharted, except for
Yep.
Mm.
it ended up kind of being a standalone thing. But yeah, where it's just the one little thing, and that's
But
it.
it's fairly long, isn't it? For
Yeah, I
DLC?
hear it's pretty long, and it can take you anywhere from like 12 to 15 hours, depending on if you're like completionist
Oh, see, that's
or
good.
any of
Nice.
that kinds of stuff.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So yes, so the Complete Edition is now out. If you want to get your snowboarding on, Steep for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, it's the Winter Games Edition and the Road to the Olympics Edition.
Oh
So you
yes.
can have fun.
Mm.
And
have
I
fun
didn't
with
know
that.
if that was standalone at all because I was kind of like I love Olympic games. Like I'm a big button mash track and field. I love those games
Sure you
for
are.
some strange reason.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And those I saw that DLC was dropping and I was like, oh, I kind of maybe want to give that a try, but I couldn't tell if it was standalone or not. So I don't know. If it's not, I definitely won't try it. But if it is, then
Right.
like, you know, I might give it a go just because I love the Olympic stuff. And the Winter Olympics is coming up next year. And so
That's right.
get you all in the mood for it. And,
Right.
you know, the thing that I did appreciate about Steep, I didn't like it when I played it, but
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like the skiing and the snowboarding was good, I'm guessing.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like the mechanics and everything worked well. I just didn't like the execution of the game, personally. And so with them kind of throwing the Winter Olympics on top of it, I was like, that might be really cool. Like, you know, since the mechanics and everything are there and solid, if you confine it to, hey, this is the Olympics now, then I think it could be a better game than what I played, or better to me.
Yeah.
Possibly, yes.
So that's good.
We shall see. For the PlayStation 4, Dead Rising 4, Frank's Big Package. Great title. For the Xbox One and
Chris.
PS4, Space. Listen to him giggling.
Yeah, the fifth grader in him just came out.
Oh, I know.
that's right.
It just really hit me the wrong way.
Uh-huh.
Or the right way.
Or the right way, either
Hey.
way. Space Hulk Deathwing for the Xbox One and PS4, Human Fall Flat for the Nintendo Switch, and Hello Neighbor for the PC and Xbox One.
Oh,
we
yeah.
have-
Hello,
We
neighbor.
have no. That's right.
We saw
Hello,
that.
neighbor.
Sorry, we saw that.
Hello Neighbor.
We saw that at PAX. It's one of those games that we saw at PAX when we were there in Seattle, and it looked really interesting. It's like you're running from your neighbor for some strange reason. It's like he doesn't like you, and so
Yep.
it's like a hide and seek kind of thing with somebody chasing you, and it's pretty
Ugh.
intense for what it was.
Nice. We do not have NPD yet. It's still early in the month. We do not have an oops. So therefore,
snap.
I'm out. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Chris McCracken.
So previously this week, Capcom has celebrated the 30-year anniversary of Mega Man during a live stream, and they were kind of teasing that if you're a fan of Mega Man, you really don't want to miss this event. And turns out the main reason why that is because they announced Mega Man 11 coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So pretty much everywhere that you can game these days, I guess, except for mobile. But I'm sure it'll show up there too at some point.
And the Ouya.
Is that even still a thing? Is that still around?
I don't know. I'm just saying I didn't see him launch with that.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, yeah. Wow, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Throwback.
So it looks like it's going to release in 2018, and it's kind of 2.5D-ish. It still is a side-scrolling, but it's got some 3D depth. Mario looks a little bit different. He's also,
Who?
Or excuse me, not Mario. Goodbye. Mega
I was
Man.
like, that guy's name's Mario too?
Too many
weird.
M names, side-scrolling M characters. Yeah, so it's the aesthetic is a little bit different, but the basic way that it kind of plays out is very similar to the Mega Man that everybody's played for years and years. And I know a lot of people seem to be super excited about this. I didn't expect it. Then again, I'm not like this big Mega Man fan where I'm following it all the time, but I just kind of thought Mega Man was done. I thought it was only going to ever be like, re-releasing old games or something like that. I didn't know that they were even working on anything new. I'm not sure if anybody did really, but it was a nice surprise for everybody who was out there and was not expecting it. Are you excited about it, Gabe?
I'm not excited about it like I'm gonna run out and get it, but I was excited about it like, ooh, that might be a nice little palate cleanser in between games. And then I remembered how hard Mega Man is.
Yeah,
really.
So, oh man, those games to go back and play now are brutally hard. And
Did they come out on all consoles?
It was Nintendo for a long time. I don't know if it ever like made its way to Sega. I don't remember. I remember playing it on Nintendo. And I really but the new graphics on it made me really excited. I was like so glad that they were finally, because it seems like all of them, even like X that came out recently, like they all kind of had the throwback look to them. You know, obviously the older ones are old anyway. But for it to have a new one and for it to be like updated graphics, I was like, good for freaking Mega Man. I might want to give that a run. And the fact that it's on the Switch, it seems like the perfect place to play something like that.
Oh yeah.
So I'm starting to get my Switch titles together for a tour next year. We have a tour starting at the end of January that goes for like 3 months, and so there'll be a lot of bunk time.
Oh boy!
So excited to get some games on the Switch and take it on the road.
Right?
Get that 1-2 switch.
Yeah, exactly. 1-2 switch. So yeah, I'm excited. Man.
2 Switch.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yes, we can play the dancing game. They, as a 2-year-old, none of the games are the right name.
Right.
Of course.
Perfect. I thought this was interesting. Speaking of the Switch, I was on, I don't even know what website it was. Maybe Quartz or something like that. Anyway, they had the title of the thing was 2017's best top 10 gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
And the Nintendo Switch was the number 1. And,
Really?
And I just thought it was really interesting. I never thought of it as a gadget.
No.
Like I would, because it's next to like the Amazon Echo and the wireless earbuds from Apple and like
and any of Apple's phones that they keep bringing out every year.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was next to this and like a phone dock that you could turn into,
Interesting.
And I was like, a gadget.
Yeah, it's interesting. A gadget. Yeah.
And so I
never thought of it.
Looking around, I was like, what's the definition of gadget? And the definition in the dictionary is a little weird. But then Wikipedia calls a gadget a small tool such as a machine that has a particular function but is often thought of as a novelty. And I just thought it was really interesting to have the Switch fall under the category of a gadget. It almost seemed like a backhanded compliment, like, yeah, but it's in the top 10, but it's a gadget.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like being like 2017, top 10 ugly people. And you're like, wait, So if I'm number 10, am I not as ugly or just as ugly as number 1?
Right. You go sit at the table with a Fitbit.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's right.
I don't take it the way you did at all. I wouldn't have batted an eye at seeing it called as a gadget.
Really?
Yeah, no, I mean, because people will, again, like Router mentioned a minute ago, like people will call phones or tablets or I've even seen laptops labeled as a gadget. To me, gadget can be anything that's technology related, but usually is more on a mobile sense, like something you can take around and use in multiple areas. Like I would never call a desktop computer a gadget, but something that I can then take and move over here and then continue to use, I would consider like a gadget.
Yeah, and I think my head always thought of gadgets like, this cool thing you could do with your phone, like a little add-on for your phone, or just something really small. And I guess the Switch is small, but it's also like I play it so much since I've been home in docked mode.
Yeah,
and so like it just doesn't feel like a gadget. And I just thought it was really interesting. I was like, a gadget. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. You know what I mean?
Right,
But
right.
I just thought that was
Interesting.
really weird. Yeah. Chris, what else you got?
So, Router, you kind of had mentioned a little bit before. I think it was last week whenever it was that Ed first talked about, like, oh man, I'm got this VR and I'm really loving it. And you were like, I bet if I tried it, maybe I would have a different opinion. Well, it seems like there's a program that Sony's doing where you can try a PlayStation VR. They'll send it to you and let you try it out in your house for a couple weeks. And then if you decide to send it back, you can. And if you don't, then they'll just charge you for it.
No way.
Wow. That's brilliant.
And it's,
That's
weird thing
incredible.
the weird thing is that it seems like it's only open to select PlayStation Plus members. And I don't know if there's like a sign up for it.
It's all full.
Is it? But like, were
go.
they just reaching out to people that somehow had been interested, or was there a sign up at some point? I didn't see that part.
I'm not sure how they chose them, but they said that like immediately everyone they chose, they were like, yep.
Yeah.
Like they thought it would go, that they would go until like the 20th when they would be sending out the invitations. They didn't even expect it to fill up like that.
Oh, wow.
So
nice.
they're calling it the PlayStation VR trial bundle. And so these people that were selected or however they got into this program, basically what happens is that they're going to send these people, you have to sign up, you have to give them your credit card. And they're just like, look, it's just like to make sure that you have a way to pay for this if you don't ever send it back to us. Yeah, a hold essentially. And they send them, it's the entire unit. It's the PlayStation headset, the Move controllers, the camera, and a copy of Elder Scrolls V Skyrim in VR, as well as the PSVR demo disc. And they let you keep it. It just says here on this article, it doesn't specify completely, but it just says a couple weeks. And you have basically a deadline. If they don't receive it within the 10 days from when your cutoff time is, then they just go ahead and charge your card. But if you decide to keep it and they charge you for it, like the bundle itself is currently selling at retail for $450, but they're only going to charge you $299. So actually, if you think that this is something you want to do, this is like one of the cheaper ways to get that bundle in particular. So it's kind of a crazy
because
deal.
they've let other people wear it. It's like an open box item.
I'm sure
It's
there's,
like refurbished
there's definitely,
almost.
well, not refurbished, but there's definitely like it's like a floor model type thing to it.
Right.
So I'm sure that's absolutely part of why they're doing it, but also I would assume that's part of the not entice really. The enticement's more to have the fact that you can try it out in your home and you don't have to go schedule a time at a store where you've got to go and you're sitting in front of everybody about something you're unsure of, flailing around looking crazy. Only certain people, hand up right here, are willing to do that.
Yep,
So
hand up
I
right
think
here. I did it too.
That is a brilliant marketing strategy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
so
really is.
And
I mean, that's like, I don't have to go anywhere. That is super convenient and it's here. And if I want to keep it, I just keep it. Oh, what a great idea.
And I mean, if this ends up working out well for them, I mean, if the majority of the people who try it out end up keeping it, I wonder if they'll open this up and try it again. I mean, obviously, like Ed said, they've already shut it down saying the program's full. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see when we get the results of how this turned out, or if we're even going to get those results. I'm sure if most people ended up sending them back, they're not going to be like, and lots of people tried, but nobody liked it. They're not going to.
No.
But if a lot of people end up keeping it, they may continue this program on or start it up again. That would be kind of
It's
cool.
a great idea. Wow. I'm impressed.
That is.
I'll let you know if the signups come back on, Router. I'll just put your name down. I'll be like, Tim Router.
I mean, $2.99 with a game. That's a pretty good deal.
That's huge. That's good.
And that was always the thing about the PSVR 2 for me. Like, even though it didn't, get me going or anything like that, but like, if it would have came out at like $250, it'd have been really hard for me not to get it.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
just to have it, and like just kind of what Ed's doing, like just throwing it on people, like you got to try this, you got to try this, you got to try this. You know, it almost
Yeah.
just for that is, you know, I would have wanted to have something like that. But at the, what did it launch at? $400, $500, something like that. I was like,
it was 300, I believe, if you were getting just the headset. If you got the bundle though, it was 400. The one that came with it came with the Move controllers, the camera, and the demo disc or whatever.
That's
the
right.
PSVR Worlds, I guess I should say. That's not the demo disc. That's actual different games that are complete games on there. The
Yeah,
demo disc
right.
is really just, okay, try this for 2 minutes or try this for 3 minutes or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and those days are gone.
Mhm.
I missed
Yeah.
the,
Pretty much.
I missed
Yeah.
the days of the demo disc. I loved those.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the God of War date might have been leaked, but it also seems like it would be a bit early. Now, I know we've heard of God of War for a couple of years now, it seems.
Mhm.
I think our first look was PSX last year.
Mm.
Was that right, Chris? When me and you did our
it
react?
was announced at
E3.
E3 because that's when they had the
E3.
symphony down
That's
in the...
right, E3.
Yeah.
E3.
Mm.
Not this last E3, but the E3 before.
Yes.
And so we've known about it since then. And the PlayStation Store this time, that's where the product page, the release date changed to March 22nd, 2018. And so, number one, that'd be awesome. But number two,
That would be great.
they've changed the date again. And we all know that the placeholder of December 31st is usually never a day that a video game comes out. But now it's the date has been moved back to December 31st, 2018. So people are kind of speculating if that was an actual date, that they were just kind of getting things ready, because March is right around the corner, especially when it comes to retailers.
It is
Yeah.
right around the
Shoot, yeah,
corner,
there's-
but the 22nd is also a Thursday, which would be kind of weird for them to release the
Oh,
game on
yeah.
a Thursday.
That
So
would be weird,
that's
releasing.
another reason to think, well, maybe that wasn't an actual date. But then again, it's like,
Right.
why randomly pick that date? I mean, like you
Right.
said, almost every time they do a placeholder date, it's the 31st of December. So
Exactly.
it's
And
definitely a head scratcher.
right. And people know that the Video Game Awards are coming up and PSX is
Yep.
coming up again. So
Yep.
they were like,
Yep.
man, we wonder if they were getting ready for that. You know what I'm saying? And just did it early on accident. So I guess we have, a week and a half to wait and find out, because the Video Game Awards are coming up next week.
Yep.
And then PSX is the same week, right? Is it like the
It's that weekend because the Game Awards, I think, are Thursday or something like that. And then the PSX starts that Friday, I think, or Saturday.
something like that? They're really close
Yeah.
together.
Although it's
So-
looking more and more like PSX might not have really
That's
a kind of a press conferencey thing like they've had the last so many years.
Right. And you know what's
So-
weird though? I feel like the last PSX wasn't really, it was kind of a press conference, but I think commented at the time that it just felt like trailer. And so, it still could be that, except you just start adding dates to stuff and that gets people excited. And so you
Yeah.
could show some more God of War and say March 22nd and people would be like, yes, you know what I'm saying? And so we'll have to see. I'm not thinking it's coming out on March 22nd, only because that seems fast for us just hearing about it last year.
Exactly.
But it is
And
it is the allotted amount of time that we would hope a game would come out in. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
Like if a brand new game was coming out and they told you it's coming out in a year and a half, I think nobody would bat an eye at that. They'd be like, all right.
Mhm.
But it's usually like, with me with freaking Final Fantasy, that thing's just not coming out probably ever.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still holding to my prediction though that at PSX there's going to be some more love coming your way for that. There almost has to be.
I hope there is. And
Yeah,
since it's broken
for you,
up,
I'm definitely hopeful. Yeah.
yeah, and since they're doing it episodically, you would hope that they'd be able to launch something. It's not like they have
Right.
to work on finish the whole game right away.
Mhm.
Right.
So I don't know. We will see if God of War news drops for a date or anything like that. That would be awesome.
I think it would
Yeah.
be the perfect game to launch in the spring, personally.
I mean,
I don't
right?
think that I don't
That's
think
what-
they
Oh, I
should
think so,
I don't think they
too.
should wait till the fall for that game because it's it's like a reboot and people are excited about it, but at the same time, they're taking a risk with it. And I just don't think you need to make that one of your games that happens in fall around
with everything else.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I love the idea of how in the last couple of years, like early in the year, like in February time, and then towards the spring, stuff has been dropping. Especially, I feel like that's a great time for games, first party games from be it Sony or if there's going to be a first party game that comes out of Microsoft.
I'm with you on that.
I feel like that's the perfect time because third parties have locked up the fall. And I mean, it's fun because we run into issues every year where it's like, there's too many games. I can't. It's like, you've kind of like a dumb idea to launch a game when all these other games are launched. Like it's almost, you're sending a game out to financially underperform. It's like, why don't you just spread it out? I mean, I still don't understand why do people not release more games during the summer when everybody pretty much universally is like, man, there's nothing to play during the summer. It's like, maybe you should launch it there and then you'd have all to yourself. I mean, it's like Batman's the only one that did it of recent years that I can think of that was like a major AAA title that released, around June or July, whatever it was. It's like, why
there's got to be some
they not
numbers
do that more often?
It must be numbers that back up their fright of doing it during the summer but I agree with you, Chris. I'd rather have things sprinkled out throughout the year than have a super hefty fall to where you got to choose one of 13 amazing games that come out.
Exactly. I mean, that's the reason why right now I've not finished Call of Duty multiplayer. I've not played the Frozen Wilds, which I platinumed Horizon and I want to get on that. And I haven't played Star Wars Battlefront. It's like, I don't have time to play all these things. It's like, give me some time, spread them out.
That's why I do love the early spring release because that's when Far Cry 5's coming out, and they used to come out the first week in December. Usually, I think 3 and 4 were that way.
Well, and Horizon came out in the spring, and so did Bloodborne before that, and then the Switch launched in the spring with Zelda. Essentially, it's like times are changing. Start spreading it out a little.
Well, PS4 was November, but Second Son came out as well.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that gave me a little like, ooh, this could be real because March isn't a random month for things to drop.
Right.
It's not like it said January 3rd or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is, I guess, considered a reboot, but it is after the events of the third game.
Yeah, it's when I said, I guess I shouldn't have used the term reboot. Reboot in that they're changing how you play the game because it's not the same hack and slash. You're not using the same mechanics. It's a totally different mythology now. But canonically, it's different. It's after the previous game.
But I just didn't want people to think reboot like kind of how Tomb Raider is a reboot where it started over at the beginning and starts to tell the story from there.
And God of War does have a very strong cachet in the PlayStation community. There's a lot of people who really like that franchise. So even if it releases in the fall, I'm sure it will do well for itself. But it's like, why wouldn't you do as much as you can just to set it up for as much success as possible?
Yeah,
release it when it's almost by itself.
Definitely more of a standalone in an early spring or summer than trying to compete with everybody else in the fall.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I'm excited for this game.
I'm going to keep my fingers crossed it is somewhere in the spring. I would really like that.
Me too.
That would be cool.
And it would be fast. I mean, we've gotten so used to waiting years and years. I think we heard about The Last of Us 2.5 years before it ended up actually coming out. And so,
the fact that Sony's come out and said, and other people have said this as well, that, we want to try to stop announcing games so early, we don't feel like that's a good idea. So I'm really keeping my hopes up that Sucker Punch game is going to be maybe a year away. It's I hope that'd be awesome if you announced it and next fall, bam, here you go, in your face.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to think though. I mean, if considering how long it's been since Fetch's DLC, and I think I read a article. I don't remember exactly what he was saying, but it was kind of alluding to the fact that Sucker Punch has probably been working on this game a lot longer than we think.
Oh, yeah.
And so even though we're just getting the first taste, I'm with you, Chris. It could come quicker than we think. It doesn't have to be
love that.
Kingdom Hearts 3, where they're or The Last Guardian, where it just takes a decade for it to come out.
Yeah.
What else you got, Mr. McCracken?
So we all, or I was going to say we all know, maybe we don't all know, but basically, Twitch has rules where you can't stream things like pay-per-view stuff.
Oh, I hope you're talking about what I think you're talking about.
Yeah, like what?
And so this guy, he goes by Lester_Gaming. That's the name of his Twitch channel. he streamed one of the recent pay-per-view UFC fights.
UFC 218.
And so he's
Or
streaming
214, I
it.
forget.
So picture this. It's streaming back behind him, but he's down in the corner in his little gaming chair. He's got his green screen set up, so it's just him. And he's got his headset on and he's got his controller up and he's making noises. Oh, yeah. And like acting as though he's playing the actual UFC fight that's displaying behind him. And he streamed the whole thing. And then after went on to a totally different game. And he's just over there. He is playing.
It
was
hilarious.
perfect.
They
He
didn't
is
take it
playing
down
it
while
up.
he was doing it.
No, they didn't. They was playing it up, and now it is down now. So I wish you could have seen the little archived video
it's
because
so
it was
funny.
so funny. But Twitch took it down, and you could probably find it somewhere out there.
That's
Somebody's got it
hilarious.
archived, but
That was brilliant.
oh my gosh, it was hilarious how much because he's like just doing like and he's like bobbing and weaving and doing all this stuff. It's like that is not graphics are not that good. I'm sorry, don't care what your PC is, they're not that good yet.
Right.
His like, and
So
you
funny.
can even hear like the controller like clicking around, like he's actually pushing the buttons and stuff like that.
Such a great idea.
It
That's
was
brilliant.
so
he,
funny.
He did get a 1-day suspension on Twitch, though. I think that was part of
Yes,
his
he
punishment.
did. He did get a
That's so
short little
worth it.
suspension, but oh my
Yeah,
god.
man, I bet
So
he's just sitting back going, totally worth it.
That's how Gronkowski's feeling right now. He's like, one game,
Exactly.
no problem.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
That was great.
Speaking of people doing Let's Plays, there's a guy by the name of Brian Bosshard, or Bosshard, it's like DT. Anyway, he is a speed runner, and he speed ran GoldenEye's first level of the opening level is called Dam, the Dam level, and he did it in 53 seconds, which is like
Jeez.
just
Wow.
crazy fast, right? And he held that title for 15 years until this last week. When a guy named Carl, I don't even know how to say his last name, J-O-B, Carl, put your eye patch back on, Carl. J-O-B-S-T, I don't know how you say that. Jobs.
Jobs.
That's the American way to say it.
Sure.
Beat it in 52 seconds. And he loses his mind. I mean, loses it.
Wow.
And so he's just playing it. People are chatting, and he's like, "All right, we're doing this," and he's just playing it, and he's like, "This is a good run. This is a good run." People are like, "Oh wow, oh wow, oh wow, this is a good run. This is good." And then he finishes the board. He's like, "Oh, I don't even think I could play anymore." And he's just kind of relaxed about it. And then at the end of each level, that's when the time comes up. So it wasn't like he was timing himself. The game gives you a time on its own. And when that 52 seconds popped up, he lost it. He's like half crying, half screaming.
Oh, that's
Really?
awesome.
It's not safe for work because he's cussing all over the place.
Sure,
but
sure.
The chat goes crazy, like, "You did it! Congratulations! You're a legend!" Blah 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 blah. And just all this stuff. It's so awesome. He walks out of the room, and you can kind of hear him like telling his girlfriend or wife or whatever that he did it. And he comes back and sits down, and he's like just like doing circles in his chair, and he can't believe it. She comes in and kisses him on the face and just kind of like pats him and rubs his back, and it's like it's like the sweetest thing over such an old game. It's GoldenEye 60. It's
awesome.
64, and so
That's so funny.
it's really fun to watch. So if you want to smile and be happy alongside of someone, go check it out. It's a GoldenEye N64 Dam Agent 52. So and then somebody like donates $52 to him during it. It's just really cool, man.
That's
cool.
awesome.
And so he had said, according to himself, he's been putting in 250 hours of practice to try to do this level.
Wow.
And with
For 52 seconds. Wow.
for 52 seconds, but now the world record holder in beating that level. So hats off, man.
Nice job.
Yeah,
so
that's
crazy.
amazing.
I love it. I love it. So fun. I watched it probably 4 times. Just seeing this guy lose himself. Just screaming and not knowing how to even feel inside. It's so good. So good.
That's awesome.
What else, Christoph?
That is it. I am out, good sir.
I've got one last one, and I don't really know what I'm talking about when it comes to this, so take this with a grain of salt.
Yes.
Sweet. We love these. Bring it on.
But Street Fighter V, the arcade edition, is coming out, and it's going to be a standalone purchase, or it'll be free DLC for people that already own Street Fighter V. I'm not sure. I haven't played Street Fighter V, so I don't know what arcade edition means. I know that it's like you going through a person's story. You know, like back in the early days, you could like play as one person and kind of work their way through their story. And on this one, though, it's going to have over 200 different endings.
What?
200.
How many
different
characters
endings.
are in the game? How do they have 200 different endings?
I don't know. But it includes updates that follows the stories of Street Fighter, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 4, and Street Fighter 5. So it's going to be a amalgamation of a bunch of them, and you can unlock people as you go, and they may people that know Street Fighter 5, it'll make sense too, but I just thought it was incredible seeing that any game had over 200 different endings regardless of what kind of game it was.
I know.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a lot put in. On IGN, it says, first, Capcom confirmed that the 6 arcade battle paths included in the update will follow the stories of all the Street Fighters I just said. To further add to the nostalgic feel, each of these paths will only be playable by characters available in their respective installment. So no playing as Vega in the original story path and so on. So I don't know if you have to like start in Street Fighter 1, you know, the first one, and then you can only play through a quote unquote story as the fighters that were available at the time. And then you can go to 2, then it's, you know, Alpha, then 3. You know what I'm saying? So it might be really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, I love Street Fighter. I'm terrible at it, but I love
But you love it.
playing it in the arcade and looking like an old man. Like, how do I? I love this. How do I? What's the block
Right.
button? You know what I'm saying? Old man, there's not a block button. Just hold back. Oh, okay.
Hold back.
Yeah, a hold back.
Hold back.
So yeah, and that's it for me. Eduardo,
Yes,
you put in some work this week and had a couple top 10s. Do you think you could run both of them down after you do some free games?
Yeah.
Do you have the power?
I've got the power.
Do you have
Let's see. Free
That was
games.
pretty good.
On the we planned it on the PS4. Over on the PS4, we've got Become Death. I don't know
Oh,
anything about these games.
sweet.
So,
That's the next Santa movie.
Not death becomes her, but become death.
No,
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
Death Becomes Her.
Wasn't
What
that
a
a movie?
horrible movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
my
is a
gosh,
movie.
Poor Bruce Willis. Yeah. Kung Fu Panda: Showdown of Legendary Legends.
Yes.
That's random.
I know. right?
Completely random.
What games are this
uh,
for?
These are for the PS4.
Huh.
What is this, Xbox all of a
I
sudden?
know, right? Up is down, down is up. Let's see. We've got Siberia Collection on PS3. X-Blaze Lost Memories.
What is going on?
Telling you. For the PS Vita and cross-buy with PS4, Forma .8. So there's that title.
Woo,
Um,
man, we
up
are
at-
top shelf here.
That's where we are top shelf, and Xbox will have Horizon Zero Dawn.
And we'll give you $50.
Exactly.
Let's see. Still free until January 2nd. The PSVR Until Dawn Rush of Blood. Yes, everyone. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Even if you don't have PSVR yet, go ahead and grab it. And so if you eventually get it, you'll have it.
Yeah, if you rent it
I know, right?
from PlayStation.
So there you go.
Mhm.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
I'm so done. So done.
So done. No. I'm so done. That's so
No.
great.
Gosh, I wish I was so cool and collected under being scared as you. I was so jealous. I was like, he don't even look scared. He's laughing. No, what the butt? What the butt? What the butt?
So awesome.
And if you are a PS Plus member, there is a beta for Monster Hunter World December 9th through the 12th that you can hop in on.
Downloading it. I am downloading
go.
that. You can download it on the 8th, so get it early. And
Nice.
then play it on the 9th. And I think, too, because they're in the Christmas spirit, I think a lot of November's free games held over for a while. So I don't know if they're going to hold over the whole month, but I know they're holding over for a little bit.
Right.
Hey,
right.
on that first PS Plus game, what did you call it? What was its name? The first one you mentioned?
The very first one, Become Death.
Yeah, that's a Darksiders 2 definitive edition. It's you become death in the game, as I understand it.
Oh,
So
So
that makes
it's
a lot of
technically
difference.
Darksiders?
Yeah, it's Darksiders
Good to
2
know.
definitive edition, which is a much bigger deal than something you've never heard of than Become Death. I was like,
Right.
wait a
That's
minute. I think I
Oh,
heard
good.
differently. Yeah.
Good on you, Chris.
Nice
well done,
catch.
Chris. Look at that. He's here for us. He's got our back.
Take that, oopsers. I know you're busy typing.
I know everybody was like, "Oops,
Delete.
Uh-huh.
Over on the Xbox side of things, Warhammer End Times Vermintide.
Okay.
All of December for Xbox
And
One.
we're back.
I hate the Vermintide.
The Telltale Back to the Future, the game,
Hey, there you go.
from
There's
December
something.
16th to January 15th. It's not a good game, so enjoy that one.
Oh, man.
Uh,
Jeez.
Ed's glowing endorsement.
well,
That's right.
when you hear Telltale and Back to the Future, you automatically think, "Oh, awesome!"
Mm-hmm.
You do.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Then
I
you
played the
realize that's
first
one of their
episode.
first games.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
Exactly.
oh,
Lower the
Yep.
expectations, and then you may enjoy it.
yeah, that was the
They
training
hadn't figured
wheels.
it out just yet. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. Let's see, from December 5th or December 1st through the 15th, Child of Eden. That's
Mm.
available. And then December 16th through the 31st, Marlo Briggs and the Mask of Death.
Wow.
All right.
So
Sweet.
Merry Christmas,
So,
everyone.
so you're telling
Yeah,
me
what
the
the heck?
only reason
The
for me to
heck?
re-up my Xbox Live is because of PUBG. Okay, gotcha.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Just fire that up.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. New on YouTube this week, we've got 3 versions of Taking Gabe Through the Raid and Destiny 2. So you can go check those out and see which one, whose reaction you enjoy the most.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe play them all at the same time.
Well, when you switch back and forth, it's right in sync. So it's
Oh,
kind of
nice.
it's fun that way. It's not like one's behind the
cool.
other one. It's
Mhm.
perfectly lined up. At least when I switch back and forth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know how their magical, hamsters are over there making that happen, but it was neat.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
It really is neat.
Looking at the top YouTube videos for the week of November 28th through the December 4th. Number 10, Hue Part 7,
Oh,
Yellow.
here we go.
Yeah.
Number 9, Hue Part 9, Mountains.
Yes.
Number 8, Taking Gabe Through the Raid and Destiny 2.
Hey!
All right.
Look at that.
Top
Boom
10 debut.
shakalaka.
Right? That's pretty impressive because usually it takes about a week for the games to kind of gather the views and stuff. So well done, you guys. That's awesome.
Mm.
Number 7, Hue Part 4, Pink.
That old
Number
pink.
6, Married to the Games, episode 272, 2 days early.
2 days.
Yeesh.
Crazy kids.
Number 5, Ori and the Blind Forest, part 14.
That's
what-
It
Man, we
feels so
butchered.
good.
So good to say that again.
Yeah, that was good.
Number 4, Watch Dogs 2, part 48, Ghost Signals.
There we go.
Number 3, Watch Dogs 2, part 19, Paint Job.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Hue part 10, University. And number
Mhm.
1, Hue part 11, The Ending.
Ending.
Mm.
There you go.
Cheaters.
I'm telling you.
I like it.
Cheater cheats. And then, I went through and looked at our top 10 games of just this calendar year. And it's pretty interesting. Number
Yes.
10, Hue Part 9.
Of course.
And you have to remember, these came out
It
on
just got
PS
there.
Plus at the end of
Mhm.
October.
I
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Jeez.
And so it's pretty incredible. Number 9, love this. We've got Gabe and Chris.
Yeah.
You know what they're doing.
Reaction to the last
They're
of Us?
reacting.
No, they're reacting to Resident Evil 7.
Ooh.
Ooh, all
What
right.
the freak?
So
What the freak?
There you go.
Not in
And
VR,
that's
I'm
why.
not. Not in VR, I'm not. Yeah.
I know, right? Let's see. Number 8, Watch Dogs 2, Part 6, bottom dollar complete.
Uh-huh.
Number 7, Watch Dogs 2, Part 5, bottom dollar fail.
Yes.
Number 6, Ori and the Blind Forest, Part 14.
Dog Fox World!
Oh, we get to,
got to do it twice.
Do it again.
Yes, that's awesome.
Make it up for last time.
Yeah, feels so good.
Right? Number 5, Watch Dogs 2, Part 48, Ghost Signals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 4, no surprises, Watch Dogs 2, Part 19, Paint Job.
Right.
Number 3, Hue, Part 10.
Of course.
Number 2, Gabe and Chris react to The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh,
There it is.
oh, yeah.
And number 1, with over 18,000 views and 62,000 minutes watched,
Yikes.
Hue, The Ending.
Wow.
Jeez.
Just came out in October.
Yeah, let's remind everyone.
That's
That's-
crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Wow.
I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thanks, Edward.
You bet.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good, sir. Thank you.
I doff my cap to you.
Oh.
Good moral.
Oh.
Oh, do you?
It will be that kind of party,
Yeah,
I believe.
exactly. I doth mine back to you. I hoth my cap to you.
That's good.
Every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different. We asked you guys, what is your favorite game from your childhood? Childhood games. Have you seen my childhood? I'm going to start over on the forum, and unfortunately, I'm not going to read all these answers, only because they're long. They're very long. But Robert Darrell Good Jr. says, if we're talking about back when I was a toddler, probably Dig Dug. But I feel like most people are talking about when they get a little older and can communicate in full sentences at least. So I'll go with Joust or Mario. Just a little older, though, I'd have to say Star Fox or Toe Jam and Earl.
Oh, wow.
I remember that. Spam Humbug had a very long answer, but the game that he said was Ultima 6, The False Prophet.
Oh.
All right. And then we've got Kenny Riot. He also had a longer answer, but wanted to say, he said during his teen years, Capcom released Marvel Superheroes, their second Marvel licensed fighting game, to the arcades. That was his favorite arcade. And then on console around the same time, my favorite game from childhood is Contra Hard Cores. Hard Corps? Cores. CORPS. Do you still just say cores?
It's
Or you say-
hardcore.
You don't say
Yes.
corpse.
It's
right?
core.
It's core.
It's core.
Yeah.
Even with an S?
Yeah, like
Corpse.
Yeah, Marine.
Yeah.
Well, that's like Marine
if there's
Corps.
if there's an E after S, then it's corpse. But CORPS is just core.
Not cores.
Correct.
Learning
They have,
something
like,
new
2 extra
every
letters.
day on the podcast. Learning something new every day.
I hope it's right. Right.
Need to go back to elementary school. Learning something new every day. All right. Oh. Sorry. Over on Facebook, Sean Chalner, Jumpman. For the Commodore 64, my parents bought that computer when we lived on a remote island with little access to stores/civilization. It was the only game I had for a while, and I played it so much I could finish it with my eyes closed. Prove it. I'm just kidding. That's awesome.
So it didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. No, I didn't. Nathan David Dugas, since I didn't own any game consoles until I was 12, I only played it on friend/neighbor systems before that. It has to be a toss-up between the original Super Smash Brothers and Mario Kart 64. I've had so many fond memories playing them with friends and family, especially on my 13th birthday. And the great thing is that even though both series have evolved and become even better games, those two on N64 still hold up really well. I look forward to playing them with at least my oldest son, Rand, who is so far is fascinated by video games at 2 when he is a few years older. Amen to that.
Raising them right.
Raise them right. What I'm trying to do. Remy loves him some Mario. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. He's taking over that Mario run. He loves that thing.
Oh, nice.
Corey Ray Swope. My favorite game from my childhood, as you meant to say, would have to be Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. This was my first RPG that started me on a long road of other RPG titles, Final Fantasy series, Star Ocean, Grandia, just to name a few. Hey, Ed, how do you like Jeremiah's new place?
I haven't been.
Oh, well, you're a jerk. He's got a new place, Jeremiah.
He does. Yeah, the local coffee shop moved locations to a former law office.
There you go. How do you like it? Just kidding.
It's
Is it law-y?
It's law-y.
Law-y. Very law-y in there.
Is it lawyer-esque?
Right.
Over on Twitter, Jaquez Major, or Yaquez, at CatJack1997. Super Mario Brothers in the arcade. Could have bought a car with the number of quarters that went into that monster.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Dan Allen at MTTG Player One. What?
Yes.
I'm just saying, man. Change your Twitter handle and all kind of good things come your way. I gotta say, I played Super Mario 3 the most as a child that we owned. When Blockbuster was a thing, I rented Mega Man 2 almost every chance I got. Love both games. I know that's right. Blockbuster, man. Shoot.
Right?
I got remember to burn these movies I got.
Really?
Jay Marsh at Squilly D. Definitely Mike Tyson's Punch Out for me.
Yeah.
Sadly enough, I still haven't beat Mike even 30 years later. Hashtag
Few of us have.
hardest boss ever. Man, you better get on that. Don't take that to your grave, man. Don't take that to your grave. Beat Mike Tyson. You can do it. Come on, man. Mark Boucher, who I got the pleasure of watching some of his stream yesterday. He was playing Batman Arkham City for Extra Life. As a team, we're over $4,000. So you guys keep it going. It is awesome. Mark Boucher said, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. The game is the crowning achievement of the N64 era. I remember the first time I got it from Blockbuster. Shout out, another one. And pulled that gold cartridge out of the box, much like pulling the Master Sword from the stone in the Temple of Time. It solidified my love for Zelda games for years to come. Just talking about it makes me want to play it right now. I get it. Vetstone. My family also didn't have much money when I was growing up, so there were no game consoles in the house for me. So playing Tecmo Bowl at my buddy's house brings back some fond memories. Then, when I was in my early teens, we got a computer. It then became TIE Fighter and X-Wing video games. It's the perfect combination of two of my favorite things, space combat sims and Star Wars.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Booyah.
Nova Beyond. So what do you define as childhood? If you ask any one of my friends and family, they will say I'm still a child.
Amen to that.
Well, once a Toys R Us kid, always a Toys R Us kid. But seriously, my favorite game from my childhood was Contra. My brother and I would always play that game. I remember waking up before church to play, then leaving it on while we went to church, then returning home to continue playing. Hashtag no save file. I know that's right. I remember definitely leaving consoles on to get all hot and steamy on the carpet where I probably should not have been keeping them. Thank you guys so much for the answers. You know where to find us. Facebook.com/marriedtothegames, Twitter.com/MTTGcast, marriedtothegames.com. Come check out the forum. Like Ed said, YouTube.com/marriedtothegames. and now on Patreon. Patreon.com/MTTG if you'd like to support the show. We'd appreciate it. And keep your eyes and ears tuned to the Twitter because people are still doing Extra Life, still trying to raise money for the childrens. So do that. It's for the kids, man. It's for the kids. And they big shout out to Extra Life and Rooster Teeth. Rooster Teeth was the first team to raise $1 million through Extra Life.
Wow.
Nice.
So I don't remember exactly the hospital that they chose, but the hospital's getting a whole like playground area added on, and it's going to be sponsored by Rooster Teeth.
Man.
They're going to have a plaque up that says it was for Rooster Teeth, and so that is just incredible.
That's awesome.
I don't know anything about Rooster Teeth, but my hat goes off to them.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that they're in Texas now. Because I watched the video and he had a Texas shirt on.
Nice.
And I don't think you're allowed to wear a Texas shirt outside unless you're from Texas. Like, I don't think I'm allowed to wear one.
Yeah, don't mess with them.
No.
That's what I hear. That's what I
Ed
hear.
wears one and it looks good on him.
Oh, you do?
But I received it from a Texan.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
The origin has to be from a Texan or be a Texan in order for it to be
that's
valid.
allowed.
I used to wear an Ohio Buckeyes shirt because somebody got it for me, and I stopped wearing
How
that
dare
crap
you.
because everywhere I went, I got cussed out. I walked
Either
in,
that or people are like, O-H-I-O.
I walked into a GameStop and a girl literally cussed at me, said the F word.
What?
I was like, all right, well,
Where were
not
you in-
wearing this shirt anymore.
Were you in Michigan?
Yeah.
No, I was I
Right.
was in Spring Hill. I was south of Nashville.
Wow.
Wow.
How dare you?
Yeah, it was crazy.
How dare you not wear an SEC shirt of some sort?
I don't even know the difference. I don't even know what a Big Ten is. Or a Pac-12.
Or a Pac-12.
I don't know.
It's not Pac-Man.
It's not Pac-Man.
Right.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
Ed. Okay, never
Got
mind.
him.
Tim.
Rate us on iTunes because Santa's a demon.
Ah!
Nice.
He lost a bet to an
Nice.
angel. That's the only reason he's giving out these toys and stuff.
That's right.
That's right.
Demon Santa. Love
Santa's sleigh.
Uh,
Slay Santa.
Still
Slay.
it.
right?
Still gets me every time.
Yes. Slay
so funny.
Santa.
Slay.
I get it.
Because I slay. Yonsei.
Because that's like,
Well, let's get into some questions. I'm so glad it's not a video podcast because I totally did a dance.
nice. I would have loved to have seen
I
that.
was
know, me
feeling
too.
it. I was feeling it.
I always do a
Well,
dance.
let's doth get into some Discord, shall we? Starting with Eric Thompson. Let us gather again for another hypothetical question and pondering.
Okay.
This
Uh-oh.
question was asked of me on my podcast, and I'm interested in what you all would say. The situation is as follows. You can join your favorite band/group on stage for one night only. The questions. Which band would you join? When and what time period, because some bands have different lineups, and what instrument would you play? I answered that I'd play with the Eagles circa 1978. I'd want to at least play the piano, but singing would be fun too.
Oh, man. This is going to be a cop-out, but it's just so
Okay.
fun. I kind of want to do exactly the same thing I'm doing now, but for Bruno Mars.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
His hype men background
Yes.
singers look like they're having so much fun. Oh,
Oh, the whole band looks like they're having so
they
much
are
fun.
having a good time. They're dancing and just swagalicious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Nice.
So I right now, like, because I don't have like a band in mind that I'd want to go join, and I don't play any instruments. But I mean, they look like they're having a good time.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Chris,
It would be Metallica during the Master of Puppets
course.
tour, and I'd be playing air guitar.
Yes, you would.
Ooh.
Nice.
Those things are expensive, though, boy. Don't
I
break
know. But hey, man, it's a dream.
Gotta be
So
careful.
I get to have whatever I want.
I
Doesn't
get
matter
it.
the cost.
I get it. Ed,
I think it would be In Excess during their Kick tour in the 80s.
Oh my gosh,
Lord
you
have
are such an
mercy.
80s guy.
And
That's
I would-
unbelievable.
I would play the saxophone.
Yes, you would.
man.
Oh my gosh. That is amazing.
It's awesome.
One time at band camp? Oh, that's so great.
In Excess. That's funny. Router.
Man, I don't know. You know what would be really cool? I used to play drums. I would love to play drums for James Brown in the 70s during his heyday.
Oh
that would
my
be
gosh.
that would be so
Wow.
much fun because I love the way the drums sound on all of his recordings. They just sound so good. Like that snare just just hits you, and the entire band is in sync with the beat, and it's just so good. And I think I would have so much fun playing that.
Oh
Right?
yeah, those hits on the one, boy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Bip, bip,
One,
bip,
two,
bip.
three,
Oh
four.
gosh.
Oh, it'd
Get
be
up.
awesome.
Get on it. Get on it.
I
Get
would
up,
be seriously
get
like
on it. Oh.
when I first started playing drums back when I was a kid, like I would just put things on like in my headphones to listen to and try and just mimic. And one of them I
Right.
think was a couple James Brown songs, and it was so much fun just to play.
Yeah, I
And
bet.
I'd just be dancing and playing the whole time. It'd just be great. It's just such good, just get up and go music. I love
I'm
it.
changing my answer. I'm going with you. I'll play the trumpet. You can play the drums.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
We would be a force to be reckoned
Oh
with, Brian. It would be
my
amazing.
gosh. Yeah, we would be.
That'd
They'd
be
be like,
so
James
cool.
Brown got a white drummer? Really?
And Darius Rucker?
Yeah, when did he get here?
From
I
the
didn't even know he
future?
played the horn.
That's right. We got a
Dude,
white boy drummer.
That would
Amazing.
be so.
That'd be fun. All right, let's move on. Don Starlancer, let's talk about good microtransactions for a change of pace. What's your favorite DLC you've ever purchased for a game? My pick, hands down, is Lair of the Shadow Broker for Mass Effect 2. Yes, it was amazingly crafted and fleshed out the characters and narrative in a very satisfying manner. Love it.
Mm.
You know, I'm not big on buying DLC. I'm not one of those guys. I wish I
Really?
was. The only DLC I bought, even though I really enjoyed Fetch's thing, but I did get the hookup from Stancil on that. But I really liked, only because I thought it added a lot of content, was the 4 cups that they added to Mario Kart 8.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Because it was like $12, but gave you like, what was it? 16 new tracks.
You got a
Yep.
ton of stuff for that.
You got
That's
a
right.
ton, and you got Link.
I was going to say,
And-
you got more characters,
Yeah,
too.
and somebody else. And I just thought, like, bang for the buck if you loved Mario Kart. That's a
Yeah.
lot. Of, 16 tracks is a lot.
How much
a
was
lot
it?
more tracks. I think $12.
Okay.
Mm.
So I have to go with that one, just because the only one I could think about that I've bought. I'm not a DLC guy for some strange reason.
Mm.
Ed, what about you?
Probably the last of the Mafia 3 DLCs, Sign of the Times.
Oh, yeah,
That
that's
was-
right. You bought a lot of them.
Ryan. Sorry.
That was a fun game. And they used Donovan, who was my favorite character from the game, and it was just a good time.
There you go. Tim?
Was Blood and Wine a DLC a pay? Because I can't
Uh-huh.
remember. Did
Yeah, it
CD
was.
Projekt Red?
Yeah, it was.
It was
Yeah.
paid.
It was.
paid. Man, I got hours out of that one. That's one of my favorite DLCs.
Is that
and
Witcher?
I'm really looking forward to Witcher 3. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and I'm really looking forward to the Frozen Wild too.
There you go. Chris?
Hmm.
I have bought a lot of DLC over the years. I back in the day of season passes, like I would buy a lot of them, especially if I knew if it gave you a discount on purchasing the game. Like for instance, Call of Duty. Like I knew I played it every year, and I knew what it was going to be. It was going to be more map packs, at least 4 sets of them. So I would just buy the season pass. I actually thought the season pass way of doing things was one of the better ways of doing it versus like
Yep.
microtransactions per se. Which microtransactions to me are more of a smaller amounts typically. Like
Yeah.
if you're paying $40 for something, I don't consider that a microtransaction.
No.
Like maybe if it's $15 or less. So if we're going in that realm by that
Unless
definition
it's a
in my
car,
brain,
there's nothing micro about that for sure.
yeah. So
Mhm.
I would say probably the cheaper piece of DLC that I enjoyed the most might have been Left Behind, which was the one for
Oh yeah.
The Last of Us.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
it was
great.
$15 when it came out, and mainly because I wasn't expecting that game to get DLC of any sorts at all. And when
That's
it
right.
did,
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
and I liked.
Yep.
I really. It wasn't super long, but it was very. It definitely showed you. It delivered on its promise of showing you like how. I don't want to spoil anything, and even though it's kind of old, it's like
It was
yes,
satisfying,
it was satisfying.
definitely. 'Cause you got
and
some good
because
you
I
got some
wasn't
good
expecting
backstory.
it, and it was deeper and better than I thought it was going to be, even though it wasn't super long. But
Right,
I've
yep.
had lots of other
I agree.
DLCs as well that I'm as well looking really forward to the Frozen Wilds, and I still really enjoy the whole season pass when it comes to multiplayer stuff, where you get like every quarter you get a new map pack with like at least 5 or 6 maps induced.
Mhm.
I think that's a great system personally, because I mean you don't have to
Yep.
do it, and I know that it can segment the audience, and there's problems with that potentially, but I mean, out of all the systems that they've tried, like microtransactions or free to play with having to pay for DLC or just doing season pass, like I feel like the season pass model was the one that made the most sense. But it's like no matter what developers do to make extra income, people are going to complain about it. So
Yeah.
Which is funny because like the season pass model, it is just the microtransaction early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But microtransactions have fallen under such scrutiny as of late with the loot box systems and everything. It seems like people are just complaining about microtransactions as a whole. And you're like, well, okay, we got to segment this out a little bit because it's not all
Right.
the same
Right.
thing that, you know.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad he said let's talk good microtransactions. Nice little change there. That's good. All right, we got everybody. We good?
Yep.
Think so.
All right, Stumpwater Jack. Are there any games you are looking forward to playing that are not video games?
Man, I'm so bad at keeping up. I usually don't
me
know
too.
about like board games until they release like the 10 of the year or
Yeah.
they do like the board game awards or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't follow it up unless we find out that it's something really, really, really popular.
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Secret Hitler 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't know about any of those either. Like I have no idea what would be coming out or where to even find that out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know I could Google it.
I'm
but,
sure
like,
there's a
I don't-
blog somewhere out there that's like,
But what I'm saying off the top of my head, like I know where to go for video game news.
yeah.
I have no idea where to
Right.
go for like tabletop anything.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, sorry, Gonzo.
I could talk to my buddy Evan. He'll get us posted on everything.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
Good question though. Voiced by Nathan. I became a father on Saturday.
That's
Hey!
right. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Good job.
I need some sites, picks, suggestions for geeky baby onesies, gaming, Star Wars, whatever. Also, what are your thoughts on limiting screen time for children as they grow up? For instance, at what point do you think a parent might consider giving a child their own tablet? Thanks for the show. With the recent stay at the hospital, I had time to catch up and marathon the last 3 episodes. By the way, both mom and baby are doing well. Dad hasn't touched any games in a while, though.
Oh, you know it's hard.
Yeah.
We feel it out as it goes when it comes to screen time.
Yep.
I think obviously the baby stuff is probably a Google away. I don't know a place in particular where to get baby geeky stuff, but I know that for us, especially with them getting to that age where they like being on the screens a lot, I try to balance it against my childhood. And so
Yeah,
I
that's
know
good.
because some days it'll feel like a lot that they're on it a lot, and you're like, oh, I wish you would just go outside and play and things like that. So I think you just feel it out, and each kid's different. Each kid doesn't, like Remy actually will get tired of the iPad and want to go do something, where Amara could stay on it for as long as we let her.
Mhm.
And so you'll kind of feel it out with each kid. It's funny, we were watching Home Alone 2 last night, and me and Jenny have this conversation a lot about screen time and stuff like that. And one of the lines that Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin's character, says in the movie when he's booking in that hotel when he's staying in New York, the guy asks him if he needs help with the remote, and he goes, "Sir, I'm 10 years old. TV is my life." And so
Exactly.
it gave me a snapshot of, whenever that was in the 90s that movie came out, because we always think back like, man, did we watch TV a lot? Did we play games a lot? And I think, since the TV has come out, people have, and especially kids have ingested it a lot. And so I would say you just, you balance it out. And then, Router gave a good tip a couple years ago. And, you know, there's so much educational stuff that can be done on the tablet that, you know, Remy knows his ABCs without us teaching him, you know, and that wasn't us. That was like a mix of YouTube videos and Amara playing, what is it? ABC Mouse. You know, we have Amara doing those all the time. Like when she wants to be on the iPad, we'll be like, hey, no videos right now, but you can do ABC Mouse because we know that it's at least educational. And so there are perks to it that feel a little weird because we're moving into a different era and you're like, man, should they really be learning from this thing? But I say you feel it out. I don't think there's a right or wrong, yes or no, this amount of hours, you know. But, you know, we definitely have, you got some friends that kids live on TV, and then we've got other friends that literally their kids get an hour a week. And you're like, an hour a week? Like, how would I even break that? Like, as an adult, there's no way I could break that up. Well, you could watch 7 commercials. And so, you know, it's kind of that thing. You'll love your children and you'll want the best for them, and you'll end up allocating that time correctly, I would think.
Yeah. Basically what you said, man. If you are going to, I'm one of those where I'm like, yes, I want her to be on a tablet. I want her to be on a phone. She has her own iPad. It just happens to be, you know, because I think I gave Lauren one for her birthday or for Christmas. And so her old one went to Piper. And I am encouraging her to definitely get with technology because she knows apps. Like she does all the apps and stuff better than my in-laws. You know, she knows it. I want her to know technology, but at the same time, you also need to pull it back a little bit so that she's not just on it. So like one of our newer rules is, hey, there's no iPad or phone while we're eating dinner. We're all going to sit down and you need to concentrate on eating because when you're on your tablet, you don't eat. You're staring at the screen and you're not eating. So like that was just an observation as we saw, like we used to let her do that and noticed that she wasn't eating. So you're going to find out all those little nooks and crannies of things of how you can kind of take away, or this would be a good time to add or what have you. So you'll figure it all out, man. It's all good. But I'm good either way. And, you know, I'm not looking down on anybody that doesn't allow anything or no TV or anything. Growing up for me, like my parents wouldn't let me watch TV during the week because they wanted me to make sure I got all my homework done first. And then the weekends I could watch whatever. But, and look how weird I turned out to be. So it's great. You know, it all works out.
It making up for lost time as an adult.
Exactly.
Take that.
So, yep. Anybody else?
Ed and Chris, you guys have anything to add or know anybody?
I'd rather not share my tips. They're too good.
There'll be a book coming out next year.
That's right. I don't want to undercut myself.
Wait for the book tour.
I like it. Chris, do you know anybody like with your nephews and nieces that do they do anything in particular?
No,
that you like or don't like when it comes to that?
Not necessarily. I kind of similar to you. You have to feel. I'm assuming. I'm speaking this all from a person who's not a parent, but just from the outside looking in, it's like every child is different. You kind of get a sense as to what they can handle, what they can't, be it like different ratings of things, or whether they can handle too much TV, or if they get addicted to it and that's all they want to do. You've kind of learned that. And then you just, like Gabe was saying, you just make your decisions appropriately based on what you've seen. I mean, you're going to get a feel for it, I would assume, pretty quickly what you should do. I don't think that you should always, like some parents, like you were saying, like limit it to 1 hour a week, or they get really like locked in about like, oh, no TV until they're, you know, 10 years old or something crazy or something. It's like, I think that's a little overboard, the opposite direction. But I think you'll figure it out. I think anybody who just really pays attention, you can learn and pick up on what they gravitate to, what they don't, what's good for them, and what you feel like, oh, they don't know how to control this, that, or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And it's hard too because technology is becoming such a part of everyday life that it is kind of one of those, like they're going to be missing out on being able to relate to their friends on some things. You know what I'm saying? And not everything, they don't need to do everything their friends do.
No.
But I'm just saying there's going to be a touch of that as they get older, especially.
Yeah. It was crazy. When we went to my old high school, they gave us a tour and they took us through one of the kindergarten classes and they all had iPads and doing their lesson. And the teacher's like, this way we can monitor who's moving at what pace, who's struggling at a certain area or whatever like that. And, you know, my dad was like, "Oh my gosh, they're all using iPads. It was incredible. I couldn't believe it." And I was like, "These kids are all screwing around." So it was just,
Yeah, right. That's awesome.
That's funny.
That's good.
I like it.
Great question, man. Congratulations again. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to Facebook, Chad Fackler. So I'm sure you all enjoy a good cookie this time of year. Who doesn't? What is your favorite type of Christmas cookie or candy? Growing up in Ohio, it's always been Buckeyes, a delicious morsel of peanut butter
yum.
filling wrapped in rich chocolate,
Yeah,
or those super soft sugar cookies that only a grandma or a wife who practiced and learned how can make.
Are Buckeyes only a holiday thing? I thought
Yeah, I
they
didn't
were.
think Buckeyes were a holiday.
I thought they
thing.
were any time of year kind of thing.
yeah, I didn't realize they were either.
They are delicious.
Dad, man, you got to eat those things year round. Come on, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, get on that.
Where's your Ohio spirit?
It's not like the nog.
That's right. The nog. The nog.
The nog.
I had some last night. It was delicious.
I know. I bet it was.
Mm-hmm.
Then you woke up puking.
The eggs were bad. The eggs were bad in my nog.
No. I woke up feeling refreshed. Thank you.
And still full.
And still, yes, exactly.
The favorite Christmas cookie, man. Jenny likes those. I don't know if it's Christmas, but it's like it feels like they're white chocolate, like pretzels covered in white chocolate, and like it feels like either peppermint or like candy cane bits
Uh-huh.
Yep. Mhm.
or something like that. She had some of those last night. She really enjoyed them. I didn't like them that much, but she was really liking that. And I'm just a good like gooey chocolate chip cookie guy. And so if there's like a good softly baked chocolate chip cookie, I don't care what time of year it is.
Right.
Mhm.
Get in my belly.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Chris?
There's not a particular cookie.
Twizzlers?
Yeah, definitely not that. There's not a particular
The
cookie
black-
that's
the black
seasonal
Twizzler?
that I can think of. Although I'm kind of like you, I just like cookies, and so any cookie can be made any time of year. There's this
Amen
there's
to
this
that.
place. I don't know if it's Dallas based or if it's around the country, but there's this place here called Tiff's Treats, and you can call them, you can order cookies, and they'll deliver them to you. And they deliver their shtick is that they deliver them and they're still hot, like they're still
yes.
moist and warm.
Ooh.
And I've looked up
Lord
where
have
they
mercy.
are. Like they're not close, but so I don't know how they do it. But they show up and the cookies are still like they've came right out of the oven. Those are really good. The one thing that I do
Wow.
like that is somewhat seasonal, just because this is around the time of year Stacy will make it, is a lot of times she'll kind of take similar to what you had said before, where it's pretzels and she'll put all this white chocolate drizzle and she'll hand that out as gifts. We don't do the
Yeah.
peppermint part to it, but she'll make that, and I love those things. I make sure that every time she makes it, like, all right, but this bag, these 3 bags over here are mine, right?
That's right.
So
You gotta
we've always
portion
got to
them
have
out. I
extra.
love it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really
She's
good.
like, I could have swore I made 6 bags of this.
Mhm.
Man, you don't
Chris is
play.
over there like, whoa.
Right.
No, you did not.
What are you talking about?
Ed, what about
That's
you?
awesome.
I kind of like you guys. I don't really think of a specific Christmas cookie. You know, similar to Gabe with his chocolate chip, I'll take a peanut butter cookie, and if you want to sprinkle sugar on it in the shape of a Christmas tree, then that's fine. But
That works.
there aren't really. I don't think of any specific cookies or treats. I guess.
There you go.
That's funny.
Yeah, every year around this time, Oreo makes a white chocolate covered Oreo one because it's not. I haven't seen it like at other times, but they usually do it around this time of year, and it is
Oh yeah,
delicious.
I know.
We
I've
will-
had that before.
we
That's
will-
good. I guess I didn't
we will
realize that was
tear-
a holiday-ish kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not advertised it's a holiday,
Yeah.
but they usually roll it out around the holidays. And
Oh,
man,
right.
we will tear up a box, no problem.
There you go.
And then I also love, like, we usually just have like a little candy dish and around just the Nestle Crunch in the shape of those Christmas bells. Man,
Oh,
I
right.
could just eat those all day. They're
Amen.
so delicious.
I'm so
Mhm.
freaking hungry for cookies right now, you guys.
Yeah.
All right,
Jeez.
get on it. Get on it. All right. Great question. Thanks, Chad. Daniel, hi. What was your favorite class in school? Secondly, what kind of student were you?
I got an A in lunch every day.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's funny. My favorite class actually was math up until
Really?
8th grade.
hmm
I had really good math teachers, and
Oh, that's
that
good.
cared and took time and just were, good people. So
And actually liked math.
yeah, I actually liked math. And then
Wow.
I hated high school and got into talk my mom somehow into sending me to a homeschool program. And so she sent me to a homeschool program, and then we had a Bible class. And that's kind of where I fell in love with the Bible, was at that class, because the guy teaching it didn't feel religious. It just felt
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like he loved the word and wanted to explain it in a way that was winsome. And and I really loved that class.
That's really cool.
Just because he
awesome.
wasn't beating you over the head with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
no.
Right.
So, yes, Ed?
I was a pretty good student.
Oh, I was a terrible student, by the way. I'm not kidding about that.
I got pretty good grades all around. My favorites were probably art and theater. Favorite classes.
Oh, okay.
There's
there
a
you go.
shock.
I know, right? Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope, not at all.
You know, it's funny. I didn't like theater that much. Being a theater kid, like,
Yeah.
I felt like it was a lot of weird people in there.
Oh yeah.
Like, even though I was probably one of
You
them,
think?
but I was like,
Yep.
I don't know about this class, man. This class is a little
Mhm.
weird.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I'd rather be doing this than, ecology.
I know. Our
There you go.
pretty much our theater group in school, not including me, but it looked like the cast of The Cure, the band The Cure.
Ah, nice.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is exactly right.
Yes.
But that's awesome. Yeah, I loved I did like the history and biology classes. I thought they were
Oh, wow,
they were
really?
They were always interesting. And you're right, Gabe, like if you have a good teacher, no matter the
Mhm.
subject, I think you will enjoy the class because of the teacher.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
It's so important to have that if you can, and that's why I always applaud teachers, because they really do make an impact on your life. And I was a good student. Like during high school, I made National Honor Society. I
Mhm.
wanted to do homework and get that done and balance like homework and sports and do all that stuff. So yeah, I was kind of a good goody two shoes.
There you go.
Mm.
Christopher?
My favorite in high school, my favorite class was theater. And I started photography in high school, or I took a class that had photography where you could actually go into the darkroom and develop. That was part of
Oh,
the
nice.
curriculum. It wasn't like a
that's cool.
photography class, but it was, and I don't remember what class it was, honestly. But I really liked that. And then as far as like, was I a good student? I mean, I was average. I wasn't a delinquent, but I wasn't also like getting on the honor roll. It's like I was just doing what I need. I had one goal. It was, I think, somewhere in middle school, maybe like 7th or 8th grade. I realized I put the math together. I was like, wait a minute, I can graduate in the year 2000. That's cool. So that was my only goal. Is like, as long as I graduate
In the
year
year
2000, I'm fine. Yeah, I didn't care if I was on a roll. I
In the
didn't care if I
year
barely
2000.
skirted through. That's all I wanted to do. So I didn't care one way or the other. But then
That's
after
awesome.
I graduated, when I went into college, that's where I actually became what I would consider like a good student. And I still liked photography. It was still my favorite class overall because that's my one elective that I took. But I actually really gravitated to math and government and then psychology and like, yeah, I just do what?
The government doesn't know math.
Well, I
I don't
didn't
think-
say that
I
I
don't
liked
think
them because they were
government
the
can
same
do
class. I
math.
just said those were two classes that I liked.
Did you graduate early to graduate in 2000, or is that the year you would have
That's
anyhow?
that was just the normal year I'd graduate.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. Me and you graduated same year, brother.
There you go.
Really?
like it.
You guys graduated in 2000?
Yep.
2000, baby.
Oh my gosh,
Y2K.
that's crazy.
Mm.
All right, moving on to Twitter. Juan Pedro Garcia. Star Wars. It comes out next week. What are your theories?
I have zero theories, and I don't think about it before I go seeing the movie.
I agree. I'm not watching anything, over analyzing anything. I'm just going and watching.
No, sir.
And just with a smile on my face.
I have so little theories that when he asked, what theories do you have? I was like, what theory do I have? It is coming out next week. Why?
That's the theory.
Right.
I theorize
That's
that
awesome.
people will see it,
Right.
Yep.
and some people
I
will enjoy
theorize-
it, and some people will hate it.
Of course.
No in between.
I'm curious if it beats episode 7's opening weekend.
Mm.
We
Yeah,
shall see.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was a big deal.
I
Chris?
don't have any particular theories. I unlike these guys, I will watch breakdowns of videos.
How do
I will
you
see what
do
other
that?
people's information is. I
Because
will
he's
read
not going to go to the
spoilers.
movies.
Well, I am going to go. Star Wars is one of the only things that will come out that'll actually make me go to a theater. Now, I'm not going
Ooh,
midnight when it
forcing
comes
your
out.
hand. I love it.
I'm not going to go midnight when it comes out. I don't care that much. But
I'm not going at midnight.
yeah, I'll go. Well, no, I'm just saying like I don't. I'm not saying anybody else. I'm just.
I would.
But I don't go to midnight
I'd
showing.
go
The
twice.
last midnight showing I went to was like I don't know 5-6 years ago. I can't even.
Wow.
Remember. So yeah, I'm not that interested. But yeah, I won't mention any of them because you guys all clearly want to go in, or those of you that are going want to go in like as unspoiled as possible. So
Yes, please.
Mhm.
I'll just keep them all to myself. But yeah, I have no problem. I don't mind looking up stuff in theory because to me they're all theories. I like seeing what some theory somebody might have, and then how it turns out. Does the theory hold true? That's what I like
Right.
seeing. I mean, on top of just seeing the story unfold. I think
Yeah.
that's fun to see how much people can get right. Because before then, it's all crazy speculation anyways. And it's fun to be like, man, that guy got that so on the nose, or that person was way off. That was totally wrong. I think that's part of the fun for me.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I'll look up
Yep, I
fan
think that's
theories
great.
about things that aren't coming soon, but I don't like looking at fan theories that are right around the corner. Only because if somebody's right and it starts to unfold, then I feel like I know where the
Yeah.
story's going, and then I hate that.
Mhm.
yeah, so
Right.
like one of the
Exactly.
main reason why Star Wars is one of the things I will actually go to a theater and make sure I'm there, usually within the first week, is because I don't want to see official spoilers before I have a
Right.
chance
Right.
to see it.
Yeah.
Right.
If that wasn't a concern, I'd wait till it came out and I could watch it at home. I wouldn't even go to the theater probably.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great question. All right, we're going to end on this one. Shepdog922, Matthew Shepard. Last year, you asked for our gaming resolutions. I've kept mine of finishing a game per month. Currently have finished 13 for the year. Did you keep your resolutions? All right, and let me add to that. Do we remember what our
No,
resolutions
man, we're old men. I don't remember. I got 3 kids.
Yeah,
Doc. I
I'm-
don't remember what happened 2 days ago.
I don't know if I
Exactly.
made any.
I'm pretty sure I didn't. So I'm going to say yes. I kept
Yep,
them.
I kept mine.
Yep, you did well.
I
Good
don't know.
job,
We
guys.
might get oops because they're going to be able to go back and listen and see if we
Yeah, hey, where's
kept it or not.
where's Lem? We need our historian.
Yeah,
We need
yeah,
our
exactly.
historian to get on this.
Yeah, we do.
I wonder. I can't remember if mine was to play more indies. Was that the year before? Because that didn't happen. And I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. It might have been the year before, but yeah, I don't remember, and I probably didn't. But we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. I don't remember what mine was either. But I definitely didn't do it, whatever it was.
But that's great that he averaged finishing at least one game per month.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And that's good, and that's very
Yeah.
achievable.
Yeah, it's
So-
not lofty. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's,
definitely.
That's perfect. So good on you, Matthew. That's perfect. And that is it. Thank you, everybody, for all of the questiones.
Nice. Good questions.
Yes. Thank you, guys. The question of the week for you guys, it is the season of giving. And some of you might be along the same lines that I am. I always think, I wonder what game I could get my wife that would get her really into gaming. So the question is, if there were one game you'd buy for somebody this holiday season to help them fall in love with gaming, what would that game be? And you can add why if you'd like.
Hmm.
Ed,
Wow.
Wow.
Edward?
Does it have to be a real game?
no,
Like
man.
a game that exists?
Well, I mean, yes. Have to be something you
Okay.
could actually purchase.
Okay.
I would say I think that the Jackbox series and games like it,
Mhm.
or akin to it, I think draws people in to that first step into playing something on a console or
Yep.
having to have a console to play it. And so there's
Agreed.
the That's You stuff, the PlayLink games that are coming out for the PlayStation, Jackbox, and any kind of those kind of party games, 1-2 Switch, even when the controllers are working. I think that those games, something along those lines would be something I'd buy for someone, especially someone like my wife, who's not like, she's not going to dive into a story. You know what I'm saying? I just know that about her. And so that's what I would do. Chris?
It really depends on the person you're trying to get in. Like
Of
you were
course.
saying, what they're interested in.
Of course.
So somebody like Stacy or anybody, if it's somebody who I feel like their thing is that they gravitate more to things that they can do with someone,
Yep.
then I would absolutely say Overwatch is what I would recommend.
Really?
Because it's not, it is a shooter, but it's not so difficult. It's easy enough that most people can just pick it up and go. They can figure it out quickly. Everything's already unlocked the minute that you have it. You don't have to work to earn anything, essentially. And it's easy to figure out what you're supposed to do. And it's cartoony enough that it's, even if they're struggling a bit to get the mechanics, they can still enjoy like the look and feel of it and all the little funny lines that the characters will say and all this and that.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely an easy way to get into gaming. I mean, look at Stacy. Outside of things that you play together on couch co-op like Overcooked and whatnot, I mean, she picked up Overwatch and she was not like a gamer. And she's
That's
over here taking
Yeah.
your console on,
You're right.
on to work with her so that she can play, on her off time.
Awesome. What about you, Ed?
You kind of took mine, Gabe. I think Jackbox is a great answer. So just to say something different, I would say a Telltale game. Just
Oh,
because
yeah.
you get a great story, you don't have to know your way around a controller very well. Like you have to know where the A, B, whatever the buttons are, but you don't have to maneuver a whole lot or be super dexterous with your hands, and they can still enjoy the story. So I would say maybe a Walking Dead or a Batman Telltale game.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
There you go.
Yeah, I would do, because honestly, it has worked for me with some of my friends who got into it. But man, for stories, you can't beat The Last of Us. I mean, going in being like, look, this might be a little brutal, but at the same time,
Right.
it is probably one of the best storytelling games that you'll ever play. So I really like that. And another one that actually was kind of surprising for me, I let a buddy of mine borrow Horizon Zero Dawn, and he is absolutely he's like, he loves it. It's just so
Nice.
great. And because it has a really good, I love the combat mechanics in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of the voice acting is a little and they did fix the mouths, which is good, but it's some of the animation. He said like he was playing it with his kids in the room, and they were like, "Daddy, I don't like that animation." They even like called out the animation on it, which I thought was pretty funny. But they love watching him play that game, and I was like, "That's really surprising." But it's good. I mean, it is kind of you can say a quote family friendly game because there's not anything crazy in it, and you're really dealing with machines than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So that one kind of surprised me, but I'm like, yeah, I'll put that in my arsenal of, hey, if you want to play games, these are some good ones.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, I love it.
You guys let us know what games you guys would buy for your loved ones to get them to fall in love with gaming. I know it's an important hobby to us, and we want to share it. And what better time than Crema time
There you go.
to
Crema.
share the love? Crema time.
Crema time.
Take that, Charlie Brown.
Exactly.
In
Use
your Christmas special.
Yeah. Use hashtag answer MTTG. Let us know. Thank you guys for listening. 273 in the books. And we'll see you guys again next week before and after Star Wars, kind of.
There you go.
I'm Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia. That is Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games, and we up out this thing. Bangs! Put in on IGN, it says I don't remember where this was.
Sorry.
This is where the power of editing comes in. Shoot, I just had the sentence. I just looked away and then I can't find it again.
Tune in next week.
That's right.
Exactly. Dang it. Where does it say it? Okay, here we go.